What's going on, YouTube, and all you drunken misfits out there? Jeremy the Glass here, aka I'm motherfucking drunk, y'all. And yes, you've seen how long this video is. It's a 3-hour podcast, something I just started, a whole new project, and I'm very excited for. This first podcast was with a buddy from high school, Isaac Valdez. Absolutely great guy. In the show, we talk about his family, his growing up, his Marine life. He's a Marine veteran. We talk about, God, just everything and everything. We get drunker. I get drunker than shit by the end of the night. I know that. He got me the shirt, just all around stand-up guy just for having him on. You're seeing some of the aftermath. I still got to clean up from last night. I had an absolutely hangover this morning. After he left, or after the show ended, we drank some more. After he left, of course, I drank some more. But on the show, man, it was just an absolute great conversation. The podcast is 3 hours long. We could have gone on forever, honestly. Probably could have gone on another couple hours. It was just a great conversation. We talk about all kinds of stuff. I probably said some things I shouldn't have, and I don't know. I don't watch this shit. I just edit this. The only thing I edit is me walking to the camera over here on this part. But yeah, no, just the conversations were so good that at points we forgot we were being, at least me, it didn't feel like I was being recorded because the conversation was so good. It could have went on forever. Absolute stand-up guy, and I ain't going to take your time up too long here. This is just the little intro giving you a basis of what the show's about. Like I said, this is the first ever episode in the podcast. The podcast is called The Glasshole. So without further ado, guys, just welcome to the Glasshole and enjoy. One thing I was listening to on that Birdcast I was telling you about, him yesterday, I was listening to it. He said, start a podcast today. Let it be shitty for a year, and then let it grow from there. Yeah. You know? So that was kind of the whole idea. I wanted to get it started as soon as possible.
Yeah, figure it out. Oh. Try to, like we were saying, for a hobby, or maybe it'll go somewhere. Yeah,
you know, for a hobby, it may go somewhere. That's the whole goal with it, to go somewhere. But hobby, it's more than enough for me. But I appreciate you coming out here today and actually doing this.
No, for sure, man. I look forward to it. I was a little, I'll be honest, I was a little nervous about it because my wife was talking to me. She's like, is it going to be an interview, or like, you're just going to BS the whole time, or what is it? I was like, oh, I don't know. I should ask him. But I was like, no, I'll go into kind of blind, feel it out, see what happens.
Yeah. So I've been nervous all day for it too.
Really?
That stand's been set up since like 7 o'clock going. So
that's cool.
But yeah, no, more or less, like I said, I just want to know about your life, kind of,
Yeah.
That's the whole goal behind all this is I fully believe everybody and anybody and everybody has a story to tell.
Yeah.
Whether it's their life story, what they went through, or if it's just a story from their life that they want to share the experience of.
Yeah.
I know growing up, I wish I would have listened to more people, stories and how they dealt with stuff, because growing up I dealt with shit in horrible ways.
Oh, yeah. No, and I think that's part of growing up. I feel like I, had kind of a wild, upbringing. I had a single mom, She worked 2 jobs whenever me and my 4 siblings were growing up. So if she was at the house, it was like she was there for a little bit and then she was going to her next job. So we were there like unattended all the time. No fault of her own. She was raising a bunch of kids and had to do what she had to do, and she worked hard. But with that came a lot of freedom. Your mom's not there, your parents aren't there, and you just kind of do whatever you want. You go outside when you want. We didn't have cable or anything. We were poor, so.
See, that was one of the things, like I said, I didn't really know you growing up, even through high school. Yeah. I didn't really know you too well. We didn't hang out outside of school besides just trips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking the other day when I was thinking about this interview. I was like, man, because no disrespect to your house, when I saw it, I was like, man, that wasn't the nicest house.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
The outside had work still needed to be done. I think I went inside there once, maybe with you. I think it was.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, once or twice.
I can't remember why or for what reason, but yeah, I remember going in and I was sitting there. I was like, man, because everyone's their main character in their own head.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And I sit there and thinking like, man, I went through some shit, but I'm pretty sure, I know for sure people went through way worse stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
And it made me think about yours. I was like, man, I wonder how he actually grew up. You know? Because like I said, I know through high school, fucking, I still remember, I dealt with everything horribly,
Yeah.
And it was nobody's fault but my own. I made terrible decisions,
You're also young.
Well, beyond being young, I just made dumb choices, I didn't talk to nobody because I didn't, like you grew up with siblings.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up with siblings, so I had no clue about just talking to people about shit.
Yeah, which kind of sounds great to me, like not growing up with siblings, because I had so many of them. You have no privacy, and everybody's in your business. And my siblings, I love them. We're all pretty close to this day. But growing up, we butted heads all the time. They're always in your business. They're making fun of you, roasting you for stuff, which in hindsight, you know, helps build character, helps build, I guess, kind of like. You can be more social. You get that built, the socialness, the social. I don't know how you'd say it. Kind of build that because you do have people to interact with on a day-to-day basis. You do have to problem solve with them. Well, and it's not always the best problem solving, but it is. But
it's learning.
Yeah, it's learning. Yeah, for sure. Now, I want to go back to like you saying like, you know, my house is like kind of beat up. You know, it had, you know, needed work. The yard was probably trashed and all that stuff. Growing up, I didn't realize that. It took me getting out of Wink, Texas, and like seeing the like how other people live, like outside of my just little world. Because like you said, you feel like you're the main character in your own life. And I realized, I was like, dang, I was poor. Like I was real poor. I always knew I was, you know, not the wealthiest person around, or not from the greatest family in town. But at a certain point, like I said, I was like, wow, like we didn't have much, you know, and you know, my family didn't take pride in a lot of stuff, and I love my family, but they just don't. That's just not the kind of people they are. And I told myself whenever I realized that was, you know, I was probably like 18 years old, and I was like, I'm not going to be like that. The place where I live is going to be nice, whether it costs $1 million or it costs, you know,
you working your ass off for it, you know.
And I want it to look nice, and I take pride in my stuff. And part of that too was also from the Marine Corps. You know, they teach you. You take pride in your stuff. You know, that good work ethic takes you a long way. So. Yeah.
See, because I was really the same way. I never really, you know, like you said, I didn't realize I grew up poor.
Yeah.
And my dad, I mean, my family wasn't poor, you know. With you said a single mom, right?
Yeah.
Was your dad ever in the picture?
No. I mean, briefly for like the first
child support wise, even or no? Okay. No. See, like, because I was raised by a single dad, so it's a whole opposite experience. Yeah. But that was the difference. Was I was a single child, let alone your mom having to raise 4 kids.
Oh yeah.
You know, I couldn't imagine that.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and it was hard, and we had to make ends meet, and you know. I don't like to get political. I try to stay out of that stuff. I mean, I have my own opinions, but when people like talk bad about like the welfare system, like I think of my mom in that sense, because we did get like the food stamps and stuff like that. But she worked 2 jobs, and she did not graduate high school or anything like that. So she was doing the best she could for her family, and you know we needed help, and I think in that case it's okay.
See, I feel the same way. Like I'm fully for the welfare system. I just feel like there's too many people abusing it.
Oh,
my thing with it.
I absolutely agree.
But yeah, no, with that situation, that's the perfect example, because my dad, he never had to do any of that. Yeah. And I think it was because I was an only child.
Yeah.
But, you know, did y'all ever go without? Like, besides just luxuries, did y'all ever go without, like,
growing
good clothes? Well, I say good clothes. You know, I mean, like, Walmart clothes. Did you ever go without that stuff? And
no, honestly, we didn't, because, like I said, my mom did. She worked her tail off, and she probably wasn't making great money, but, you know, enough to keep us afloat. And you asked if my dad was in the picture growing up, and he wasn't, but my dad's mom, my grandma, on my dad's side, she did a lot for us. And she, like, on Christmas, she would send us, like, me, like, and my siblings money so we could, you know, get clothes, or send us a video game here or there or whatever. So she did, she was pretty instrumental in it, but she was by no means supporting us. That was my mom's day-to-day thing. But no, you know, I never realized how poor, like just truly.
Well, I guess when you think back to it, that statement right there, you never realized it until growing up. So obviously you didn't go without.
Yeah,
you know?
No, absolutely.
Which I think that's cool that your dad's mom was so supportive.
Oh, she's great.
Because with mine, it was the complete opposite. Yeah. You know, I went over to my cousin's house, which you know them, Keisha, Kimmy, and all them. Yeah. I don't know if you know the younger ones, but I know you know Keisha.
Yeah, I know Keisha.
I went over there to their house in my younger days, even when my mom wasn't around. But it was always awkward to me. Yeah. Like I never really felt part of that family.
Yeah, welcomed.
And that exactly. And you know, it was never nothing that they did. It was just the way I grew up. My dad was, you know, don't speak less spoken to. A real, you know, real kind of old
traditional.
School. Yeah, traditional is the perfect word for it. And you know, they were more like just walk on in the house.
Yeah.
You know, that blew my mind. You know, to me, like even today when I go over there, I still knock on the door. I don't just walk in. You know?
For sure.
Even though they've told me 100 times, it doesn't happen. Anybody's house.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, you know, it was really the opposite. And like I said, there's no fault on their own. I'm not their kid.
Yeah.
Which they were raising, like I said, they were raising Keisha, Alicia, Kimmy, Lee, and Christian all at the same time.
Yeah.
5 kids.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I get that. My grandpa, I love him to death. He's put forth quite a bit of effort.
Yeah.
You know, because he is blood. His wife, which is my grandma on that side, she isn't.
Yeah.
So I get not putting in so much effort from her, but we're here recently with her. I noticed, you know, she isn't. In my mind, younger, I always felt like she just didn't want me there.
Yeah.
Now growing older, I'm like, oh, that's just how she is.
Yeah.
That's just the type of person she is. Not like in a bad way, but I'm saying that's just her personality, you know?
Yeah, and it's kind of weird how you, like, realize that, like, that people are people. Like, and I've talked to my siblings about this. I talked to my wife about it. But there's a point where you realize, like, your parents and your grandparents are just human beings. They're just humans, too, trying to figure their way through this crazy world, you know? And they make mistakes, and they make dumb decisions. They, you know, do things they shouldn't do. They say things they shouldn't do at the same way I do. I'm not by no means perfect. But no, like to me, like a big indicator of like how someone grows up is like kind of how their Christmas goes. So can you like kind of tell me like, well, how was Christmas Day? Like were there like just like you're getting a pair of socks? Are you like getting decent?
This was where I look back now and I felt so happy about my Christmases from my dad's aspect.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Christmas birth. So December 17th.
Oh, dang, yeah.
And my dad, he was a penny pincher from hell. Everybody told me that, you know, after he passed, I'm like, no, he was a penny pincher from hell.
Yeah.
And I realized that because he was saving up for my Christmases. I could tell now when I look back at it, because he was a dick in this way.
Yeah.
He would give me the video games on my birthday and then give me the console on Christmas.
Oh, dang, yeah. You know? So he had a sense of humor.
It was a great sense of humor.
Yeah.
And, but when you look at the other side of it, this is where I kind of... And like I said, no fault to their own.
Yeah.
This is where I felt kind of unwanted. I'd go over to my grandparents on the on my mom's side.
Yeah.
And it was always a gift card or like a Xbox gift card, you know, something like that, because I played Xbox.
Just basic.
Just something super basic, and like I'm talking like $50 gift card. Not cheap by any means, but
not thoughtful.
They're a little bit, I wouldn't want to say wealthier. They were wealthier than my dad was.
Yeah, a little more well off.
And then I'm seeing, you know, like Keisha, Alicia, and all them getting like $600 worth of presents, you know. And I'm sitting there like, it's kind of dumb, you know.
Kind of blows a little. Yeah.
Because and it's a weird family dynamic on that side, because Alicia and Kimmy, they're actually my aunts. They're Connie's daughter, my grandma, on that side. And Keisha is actually, you know, Shannon's daughter. That's my mom's sister. So she's actually my cousin, along with Lee and Christian.
Yeah.
And then Kimmy and Alicia are my aunts, but we're all the same age, so it's a weird dynamic in the family. You know what I mean?
So do your like aunts like demand that like respect? Like
no. We treat each other like cousins. We always have.
Cool. That's cool.
On that side, especially now, I'm trying to get closer to that side of the family a lot more nowadays, because.
Is that really like the only family like you have?
That's it. You know,
that's crazy.
I have my grandma on my dad's side, and the grandpa was never in the picture over there. I still actually be meaning to ask her his name, because I just want to.
Yeah, just to know.
I just want to know what his name is, who he is. Maybe look him up. Maybe interact with him just to see, because I got questions for him, and they're not the nicest questions, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I have a question on that side. But yeah, no. Besides that, my uncle, he used to live here. My great uncle. It's my grandma's brother on my dad's side. He used to live here. I was super close to him, and he's really traditional. Like I still remember one day, you know, as I was getting older, I stopped calling him Uncle Carl and started calling him Carl.
Oh yeah.
And my grandma, she called me one day and she told me like, no, Carl's mad at you.
Yeah.
You know, you don't call him
disrespectful.
Carl.
Yeah.
You know, real traditional.
Yeah, super.
And I truly understood it. You know, so I went back to calling him Uncle Carl. They moved off to Ruidosa.
Okay.
And unfortunately, he's got stage 4 cancer.
Oh man, that's terrible.
You know, I say unfortunately, but also luckily he's lived a long life. You know, he's I don't want to speculate his age. Late 60s, I would say.
Yeah. He
was the younger of the family. He was late 60s. My grandma's I think 70. You know, around that.
Yeah.
But he's lived a good long life, and I'm glad it didn't hit him super early.
Yeah.
I still hate that it hit him at all, you know.
Yeah,
But I don't think I'll ever see him again, you know.
yeah, that's never easy.
And God, yeah, it sucks. But I've come to terms with it.
Do you have like a talking relationship with him, or is it kind of like men? I feel like men that are lean traditional are kind of like you see them and it's like, hi, what's up? Like you catch up then, but it's like correspondence between that is not.
No, yeah. If I went to there to you know, like always at his house, if I showed up, we could sit in the backyard and have a conversation like this for hours.
Yeah.
Like, especially as I got older, where I can drink a little bit more, you know.
Yeah.
And stuff, but as far as like I can call him on the phone, talk to him, it's like a 5-minute conversation.
Yeah.
And that's like the complete opposite of me.
Yeah.
I hate texting.
Oh, me too.
I'm a call you, talk to you for that quick 2-3 minutes, get everything across that needs to be crossed, and then end the conversation.
I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, I hate texting, and it's weird because I used to only like texting.
Yeah.
But growing older, I like it more conversation wise.
I'm with you 100% with the texting thing.
Yeah.
No, so so you would say that you had a decent Christmas. You know, it wasn't the huge Christmas tree and then Christmas presents, a ton of Christmas presents under the tree.
Yeah,
like,
you see, and it was always 2 Christmases.
Yeah.
It was the one at my dad's and the one at my grandma's.
Yeah.
Because the uncle I just talked about would come down, the cousins would come down, the uncle from Sweetwater would come down.
Okay.
And it would and of course the aunts that came with them.
Yeah.
It would always be a huge Christmas, and that was Christmas to me.
And what was your like? Did you feel like you fit in with the family like at your dad's Christmas? Like, so if I'm understanding you right, so your uncle that lives in Ruidoso now,
Yes.
and the one that you have an uncle in Sweetwater,
Yes,
would go to your dad's Christmas.
That's all my dad's family, yeah.
And that dynamic was great.
Oh, that dynamic was great. That's also because growing up, I didn't have a lot of friends.
Yeah.
I was a very weird, awkward child. And I only had 1 or 2 friends here and there. And that's why I've always felt like I've always steered more towards, in my younger days, having conversation with adults other than people my age.
Yeah,
I preferred that.
Yeah.
You know, it made me feel older than what I was, and
Yeah.
obviously gave me a big head too.
Yeah.
But I always felt way closer. I loved that side of the family. That was always the Christmas. And the bad thing about that was the second my dad passed, he was the one that would bring everything together.
Yeah.
The second he passed, every bit of that stopped.
That's crazy.
And I'm talking the one from Sweetwater would never come down. The one from that lived in Ruidoso was in Kermit, and we still wouldn't even get together with him.
That's crazy.
And it was heartbreaking to see it because it just slowly. I haven't seen some of the cousins in years.
Yeah.
You know, and I always felt closer to them than I did with the cousins that lived around the street, because my grandma's house up the street around the corner, my grandparents' house from my mom's side.
Yeah.
We're literally a block away.
Yeah.
You know, growing up.
That's crazy. So from like my Christmases, like so we would do at like my house, like my mom would like buy us presents or whatever, and it was usually closed because by the middle, because it's the middle of the school year, you know.
You gotta change. Yeah. You gotta get the winter stuff in.
Yeah, exactly. And all my pants, I was rough on my pants, just like all my other siblings. We were outside all the time.
Yeah.
So my pants had holes in them, all that stuff. So my mom, Christmas gifts were like, hey, I'm replacing your clothes. And as a kid, you're like, what the heck? Like, this isn't a Christmas present. And I realize now, like, on the back end, like...
That was what she could give, because she was able to bundle in buying clothes for Christmas presents.
Yeah.
Because she couldn't do both.
Oh, 100%. And at the time, you didn't realize it, but also at the time, that's what I was, like, the norm for me. So it was like, oh, cool, like... But yeah, I'm gonna go do whatever.
How many shared gifts did y'all get? With 4 siblings, did y'all every time get gifts and your mom would be like, this is for all of you, share it?
It's never at Christmas. It was always tax return season. So my mom would get she'd buy us a trampoline, and she's like, this is y'all's trampoline, like Christmas gift, or whatever it might be. So that was like when we'd get like a big thing. But,
was that treehouse one of those tax return things?
It wasn't my uncle. So my grandmother's on my mom's side, her brother, my uncle, lives here in Kermit, and we were really tight with him. He'd drive from Kermit to Lincoln, go see us, like just go visit us randomly. And if there was anybody that like spoiled us regularly, it was him. But he was also hard on us. He like expected a lot.
I'm just gonna check that. Keep talking.
Yeah, he expected a lot from us. I guess kind of like your uncle, like super traditional, like kind of like super conservative, super religious. Great guy, genuinely wonderful human being. So he was kind of like my father that like I didn't have. Like he was there. He taught me to throw baseball. He taught me how to throw football. All that stuff. If there was anything a dad could teach you, it was that. Mm-hmm. So that we called it the treehouse, but that little building. I don't know.
See, I don't even know why it popped in my mind. I just remembered that for some random reason.
So I think the date on there is 2002. But that at the beginning of the summer, he brought all the material to do it, and he was like, "Y'all are gonna help me, and I'm gonna build y'all a treehouse."
Yeah.
And we were like, "Okay, cool. Like this is awesome." So beginning of the summer, he starts doing it, and he builds it, and he built us a little treehouse, and it was a shared thing. Have a lot of memories on it. I think drank my first beer inside that treehouse. So,
what age was that?
First beer, I want to say that was probably 10 years old. And,
really?
So my mom and a bunch of our cousins had come over, like my mom's age cousins.
You snuck it up in the truck.
Yeah. So we stole, and it was a Bud Light line. And I remember taking a swig of it and thinking it was the worst thing. I was like, I'm never gonna drink alcohol. Like what?
Yeah. See, I was the same way when I was younger. I was the full DARE system. Mm-hmm. Never do drugs.
Oh yeah,
alcohol.
100%.
Because my cousin, he was big on that, and even the alcohol, even in his college days, is according to my grandma. I don't know straight from him, but according to my grandma, that's how he was.
Straight edge kind of dude.
Dude, he's fucking loaded.
Oh yeah.
He's a casino like engineer tech or something like that. He programs like the computers for it and shit. He lives in the Dominican Republic over there for the Hard Rock is where he works.
Oh, that's crazy.
And he makes boot codes. I couldn't even speculate how much. But he was like 6'8".
Yeah.
He had scholarships to colleges for football.
Yeah.
Until his senior year, he got his knees blown out, and then he fell back on his academics because he was super smart too.
Yeah.
And so he was always like growing up. I don't even think I've ever told him this. He was like a hero to me because I'm like, I want to be like him,
Yeah.
I never had my first. I never got drunk until I was 17.
Okay. Yeah.
Before that, like my grandma, they were really old school. I'd be young, walking around the backyard at I'm talking 7, 8, whatever else.
Yeah.
Pick her beer. You can have a sip of it.
Yeah.
Don't drink the whole thing. I'd have a sip of it, and it was like Natty Lights. I still remember. She still drinks those to this day. And my reaction wasn't, this is nasty. It was just like, it's Natty Lights, fucking water.
Yeah. No, for sure.
But that was little sips here and there, but other than that, I didn't get actual drunk until 17. Do you remember your age?
I remember getting drunk for the first time. It was our sophomore year, I want to say. It was either a freshman or sophomore year. There was a party out in a house towards Pio, and I won't say the specifics because I don't.
I think I know.
Yeah, there was a redheaded person that we went to school with.
Younger. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
That house, and that is the first time I ever got drunk. And from there, it might sound bad, but from there I was hooked. I was like, this is fun.
Yeah. The first time, was it blackout?
Oh,
was it just,
my God.
Yeah. Same here. That was mine too. Yeah. I remember it was with a couple buddies of mine, and him, a family of yours, has to walk now with a walker and all that. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He was playing beer pong, and it was over at Kermit's, right next to the Boy Scout Park, a guy named Cheddar Bob.
Yeah.
It was at his house.
I think I went to his house once or twice.
Oh, man. And old Willie, bless his soul, was there. And Greg had I just said his name. I don't think he cares.
I hope not.
I hope not. I'm pretty sure he won't. But
that's my homie. I love Greg.
I love his ass too to death. But he had a bottle of Wild Turkey American Honey in the freezer.
Yeah.
And this was, like I said, the first time I ever got drunk. I'm drinking some beers already, some Budweiser. And I was like, hey, can I try some of this? He's like, yeah, go ahead and drink as much as you want. I downed 3/4 of that bottle from the top.
Instantly drunk? Did it hit you
Oh, I'm talking instead, I kept going back to it, and it was stages of drunk, obviously. But I still remember him. They were running the table all night, so he wasn't even looking at the fridge or nothing. His back was to it, and he went in to get some. He's like, who the hell drank all my whiskey? And they were like, Jeremy Glass.
Yeah.
And then he looked over at me. I'm fucking hammered.
Yeah, eyes are
And
crossed.
he's just laughing his ass off. As long as it was him, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know? And God, it was bad. I remember trying to pick up one of my buddies because I've been a big wrestling buff. I picked him up,
100%.
and there was a match where I was going to do the John Cena.
Yeah.
And I got him here, boom, straight on his head.
Golly.
And then I fell down too. It was.
And you said you're 17, so this was right before we graduated. This was like.
No, I was 18 when we graduated, so.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm a little bit older than you. I was 94.
Okay, yeah, I was 17 when we graduated. I think most people graduate at 18. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're a December. But did you get held back, or you just
No,
started
I couldn't enroll because of my birthday, so I had to wait till the next year. So I was just a late enroller, is all it was. I think the oldest ones out of our class were you, me, or not you, me, you, Haley Taylor, Melissa Smith.
Yeah, not me, but Haley Taylor, Melissa Smith,
Yeah.
Melissa Smith. I don't know if we should even go into that subject. That's probably not a good place to go.
You know me, fucking we can talk shit. If that's people I don't give a fuck about, but
I had nothing against her, but golly, that woman.
Yeah, there's some problems there. But yeah, no, we were the older ones. I remember that because you and Aaron, I think, were the youngest.
Me, Aaron, and like Hugo, and then I think Katie Shackelford was.
Yeah, I think she was.
Yeah, she was one. She was like,
and then everybody else was just in between normal. Yeah. Because I remember Aaron telling me his when he graduated, he was only like 17.
Yeah.
Talking about high school, I was like, really? I'm already I've been 18.
Yeah.
I had 7 tattoos before we graduated.
Yeah.
And I don't regret any of those.
Yeah.
I thought they were fucking hilarious.
That's cool. Yeah.
Just I want other people's outside perspective too. What did you think about that? Like me coming back to school with tattoos all over my arm. I had 7 in like 3 months.
I thought it was wild because like I grew up super conservative, so it was like my family, like you get a tattoo, you're going to hell. Like, that kind of conservative. Like, you know what I mean? So I was like, dang, Jeremy Glass is going down a dark path, man. Like you got to be a little careful with this dude.
I find that so crazy from like beliefs that were semi passed down from like those ages now to seeing where we're at now. You know, like. You could sue somebody if they don't give you a job because you have a tattoo.
Oh, 100%.
Like, that is crazy.
100%, yeah.
But I get where they're coming from, I don't know about you. I'm not super religious. And here's the thing, too. Like, you're talking like you don't want to get political, or religion's another one of those sensitive topics.
I don't mind getting political. Like, I'm not somebody that'll argue with you about it.
See, that's my thing, is I want to learn other people's views, whether it's religion, politicals. I like listening to other views because it helps develop yourself, as long as you're not arguing about it. Because once you argue about it, you're never changing the other one.
Oh, absolutely. People get entrenched in their ideals and and then you'll never get. And then you find that with people like that are like super invested in it, and that's like their whole life, and it's like. Again, I think a big thing that helped me was getting out of Wing, Texas, joining the Marine Corps, and you get a conglomeration of people from all over,
all walks of life.
Yeah, and all over the world too. You meet people from Japan, Korea. You meet people from Nigeria, wherever it might be, and their view on they might be super Christian, but their super Christianity is so different from the American super Christianity, and it's like. Whoa, like, you are entrenched in your beliefs, but like, if you were talking to like the people I grew up with that are about super Christian
like that, it's a complete opposite idea.
Yeah, your interpretation of the Bible or whatever religious text you're reading is so different from you hop that pond and
see, that's where I think religion lost me years ago. Is I fully believe there's something out there, a greater power.
Agnostic, yeah.
Yeah, but it just. I can't put my eggs into a basket because there's just so many walks. Like you said, there's views on the same thing, same religion, but 2 different appealing views. And then you have all these other religions that all swear by the same,
they're convicted beyond belief that, this is like Allah or Buddha or, God or whoever it might be. That is like the single only answer. And I am religious. I'm a Christian, I lean away from the not extremists, but like the Bible thumpers and because you'll never. I truly believe this, and it's kind of cliche, but you'll never meet a more judgmental person than somebody.
The full one. Yeah, I fully believe that. I mean, it's like if you go off the full actual thing, we're sinning right now by drinking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm already doomed because, like you said earlier, my tattoos. And I just don't believe that. I'm one of those. I believe there's an afterlife. Like I said, I believe there's something, and I do believe there's an afterlife. My reviews go to just simply as long as you're a good person, and you're not just being a piece of shit your whole life. And I don't mean just being an asshole. Like, I believe those people will still go. I mean, it's just how
who isn't an asshole?
Yeah, exactly. At some point, if to somebody else, you're the bad guy in life.
100%.
Everywhere,
100%.
And I fully believe that. And that's just my view on it. As long as you're a decent person, nothing's gonna change.
Oh, for sure.
I'm
grab yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna go piss real quick too. So.
All right, man.
By the way, how's that bar stool doing for you?
Oh, good, man.
I got that for $10.
Really?
Yeah, I got it from my grandpa.
Yeah.
That one I was telling you about on my mom's side. He does that storage war stuff.
Yeah.
But he goes out and just buys storage units and stuff.
buy unit, yeah.
And I was like, man, I need some bar stools. And I seen him outside his house when I was leaving my other grandma's. Like, maybe he's got one. Pulled up. I was like, hey, you got any bar stools? He's like, I got a couple around back.
Yeah.
And he had I wanted a set. And he had a set, but they were like the outdoor garden. They were the metal. They didn't even have the pads on them. I was like, no, that doesn't look right in here.
Yeah.
He had that one. It was the only one he had. And I was like, well, how much? He's like, $10. I was like, I'm taking it.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Missed. But yeah, I'm going to try to find another one like that because I like that one.
No, it's fine. It's comfortable. I feel like super tall sitting out here, so.
That's why I had to go get this. I got tiles under me right now, like a pack of tiles. But yeah, no. Religion really is a fickle thing. I think. Are you a big music guy? I'm a huge music.
I love music.
You like Hobson?
Hobson?
He's like a storyteller rapper.
I've never listened to Hobson.
Okay, he's a lot like Joyner Lucas, if you like Joyner Lucas.
Okay, I know who Joyner Lucas
He has a song, Ill Mind 7 of Hobson. It was a whole little album thing. Well, not album thing. It was a whole little journey he did, talking about the ill mind of himself.
Yeah.
And he had one that spoke, there was a verse in that spoke to me personally, is like, I'm not reading that motherfucking book because a human wrote it.
Yeah.
Older people having stories wrote about them, because they, like, that's my thing with the Bible. I don't know if I can believe it because of that.
So, and I completely get that, because, like, in my journey through Christianity or journey through religion, whatever, because that's one of the big questions. It's like, did somebody, 2,000, 3,000, however, 6,000 years ago say, hey, I'm going to write this book and say, I found a God.
Yeah.
And just to get people to give him money or to give him food or whatever it might be, and say, oh, I'm talking to him. You better follow me or you're going to hell. You're going to burn forever. You know what I mean?
See, that's one idea that goes through my head. What if someone just wrote that as a story and somebody else picked it up and it was like, hey, this is... Wow.
I can control some people with this. I think about that for sure. And there's been some times in my life where it's like, maybe that's just a big coincidence, or maybe, prayer did work, or maybe this or that. And it's like, there's been like one too many sometimes that like I think there is a God there. And I know there's a God there, because it's like that it just seems a little too suspect. And
I fully understand that too. My thing is, that gets me with it is I'm full on, like you said, agnostic is the word for it.
Yeah,
I'm
you believe a higher power is there, but you just don't know what.
Yeah, I also believe in science as well.
Yeah.
There's just too many
inconsistencies.
No, I'm talking about the similarities from religion to religion.
Oh, yeah.
Every religion talks, not every religion.
It seems like a blueprint.
The majority of the big ones talk about the flood. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Christian one talks about Noah and the ark and all that. And so do the other ones, but different names, different stuff. Yeah. There's too many consistencies with it. I'm like, man. And then the shit people have found and dug up, like I said, science-wise. If I can see it, I believe it, type of deal.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you know this, but the Quran, the Islamic Muslim religion, a lot of their stories are from the Old Testament. Like they do go back and forth, like the Quran and the Quran does acknowledge Jesus Christ too as a prophet, which is insane to me. I didn't know that until I was like, 16 years old, and I was like, what? They acknowledge? Oh,
really?
Jesus
That
Christ?
young? I thought you were going to say in your Marine life.
No. I was a little bit younger, and I was like, wait, the Quran? But I also, again, raised super traditional. My family is like, Muslims are evil, like, this, that, the other.
Oh yeah, well
I've met countless Muslims, and they're genuinely great people. Like, you got there's differences with them, the way they do things, but good people. Like, you get to the core of them.
See, and that's my thing is being a white male in fucking 2022.
You can't say anything. You get in trouble.
And that's the bad part about it is, like, the thing is, to my mouth, I will say shit. You probably don't know me that well, but I will fucking say whatever the fuck I feel like I need to say at the time, which is bad about me. But like, that's one thing I wanted to talk to. Dominique's another one I wanted to get on here.
Dominique's
and he's talked to me about it before and stuff, and I was telling him, he was like, well, what would you ask me and stuff? I told him, I was like, man, I want to know about, like, growing up in a small town in Texas, being black. Did that affect you? Did that affect the way you looked at stuff? Because being me, growing up the way I did, I grew up in a biker culture.
Oh, yeah.
And by no means was my dad ever racist. I mean, they had black people in the group. They had Mexicans in the group. But
let me interrupt you. I think everybody's a little bit racist.
I think everybody is. I think everybody sees stereotypes.
Oh,
is my
100%. And you can't help it. It's just part of being a human being.
Well, it doesn't mean it's part of being a human being. It's part about growing up too, because you see what happened. Like, for instance, I still remember this day, my first day in Wink. Growing up in Kermit, I was bullied left and right, and the bad part was I was bullied more by a white guy than anybody else. But the school, Kermit, was literally predominantly Mexican when I growing up, especially where we live at, of course.
Oh, yeah.
And I was bullied by them left and right for being like one of the only 3 white kids in the school.
Yeah.
And whenever I first got to Wink, I sat down outside the administration office, right outside Miss Shack's on that big stone block.
Yep.
I sat out there, and I remember seeing you and Hugo walking by talking together. I was like, those are going to be the Antonio Contreras that bullied me, the little short Mexicans that bullied me. And then I remember seeing Pondo and Waylon, too. I was like, those are the big fat guys, because that what bullied me was the big fat white guy. And everybody that walked by, even the girls, I was like, those are the stuck-up bitches that I was looking at. I'm not going to say the names. I was looking at them because one of them really was. And the first person, Pondo, was the first person I interacted with.
I love Bert, too.
I love him to death. I wish the motherfucker would call me back because he never answered his phone. But he was the first person I interacted with as a student from Winks High School. I got set next to him in Miss Shack's class, in computer class. I think you were in that class, too.
I think I was.
It was like, it was you, me, Pondo, Waylon, Aaron, what was her name?
The keyboarding cat.
Yes, Elizabeth. And Haley and all them. I remember that. And I got sat next to Pondo, and in my head, I'm like, oh, great, I'm getting sat next to the bully right away. He reaches, I'm like, hey, how's it going? He reaches over, tit flips me, hey! And the first thought in my head, because I never interacted with people like that. I had literally no friends.
And
the first thing in my head was like, the school's full of a bunch of gays. And after that, best friend since. And
good guy, great guy.
But yeah, no, that's how I was, because growing up in Kermit, like I said, I was bullied by nothing but Mexicans. So immediately just seeing y'all, I was like, oh, these are going to be the bullies. This is going to be the assholes.
Sucks.
It really does, because I feel like I never broke that barrier in high school to actually sit down and get to know y'all. And of course, I was a socially awkward kid too. Like, I wasn't big on getting to know people anyway.
Can I tell you something on the converse side of that? So the Hispanic population in Wink High School was small. Like, it's predominantly white.
And that was something I was going to bring up earlier, because I meant to say it. Kermit had all the Mexicans. Wink had all the white people.
So amongst the Hispanic community, like, you get people that are super traditional, like Mexican, and we speak Spanish because it's part of our culture. We speak, the language, the food, and everything. It's part of our culture. We're American first, but our roots are Mexican.
Oh, I respect that more than anything.
But I didn't grow up that way, man. My mom was, third or fourth generation, and then I'm fifth or sixth or whatever. I don't remember.
So was she so she wasn't putting the Mexican flag up in the house? She was like, no, you're in America. You learn English, you be American.
That was never a conversation.
Never a conversation.
Never a conversation. So, the kind of music my mom, you talk to my mom, she grew up, she's born in Goldsmith. and she grew up here in Wink. She went to school in Wink, and then my grandfather got a job in Jal, and then from Jal they went to Farmington, New Mexico, which was where I was born. I don't like to tell a lot of people that, but
So you're not Texan.
there's only one person in my house that was actually born in Texas. That like part of my like little family.
Was that your little brother?
My youngest, well, my wife and my 2 kids, like Amelia, my youngest daughter, it was the only one born in Texas. My oldest daughter was born in North Carolina. Me and Mariah were born in New Mexico. She was born in Albuquerque.
That's crazy.
And I was born in Farmington.
But are you like super Texan though?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
My granddad was born here in Wink. Like that's like I came here whenever I was like a year and a half, 2 years old. So I grew up my entire life.
You didn't know no different. You were just Texan.
Not at all.
You know?
Not
and
at
of course,
all.
you didn't know like the states and all
Oh,
that.
100%. But like I grew up with like Texas is the best state ever. You know,
I'm the same way. I mean, so I've got tattooed on my arm, you know, shit. But
I love Texas. I love Texas. Joining the Marine Corps and being a Texan, it's like you can go anywhere, you meet anybody, and like any group, and there's probably a Texan there, and you can say, "Oh, you've been to Buc-ee's or you've been to Whataburger or whatever," and you can.
Could you pick those people out immediately from the way they talk or anything like that?
Yeah, for sure. So amongst the Hispanic community, there's only 3 places you come from if you're Hispanic in the Marine Corps. You're either coming from California, Arizona, or you're coming from Texas. And it's like, okay, you a California Mexican, you a Texas Mexican, or
What
you
about New Mexico?
New Mexico is not as prominent. You don't meet very many people from New Mexico in the Marine Corps. And the most, like the predominant places you meet people from in the Marine Corps, Ohio, Florida, and Texas. Those are the biggest like producers of Marines, like of any other states.
See, that was one thing I wanted to talk about too, was your Marine life. It interests me because you know, everybody says, you know, like I'm one of those. I wanted to go in, and I fucked up by getting the tattoos in high school. I went into the Marine office. He looked at me. He said, "No." He's like, "If it was above your elbow, yes, but you're fucked."
Yeah, you get them on your wrist or anywhere like that, they disqualify. Especially like when like we were graduating high school.
It was a lot stricter now. Now I heard it's relaxed to the point. Wrist or above, you're fine, but me, I'm still screwed either way.
Yeah, and now I think you can get like chest tats and like all sorts.
As
of
long
stuff,
as you can cover it up.
Yeah, you can get like even they can show through your skivvy shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But whenever we were graduating, the Marine Corps was downsizing. That's why they were being a lot more picky because they're we don't need as many people. Like, you know, we can.
The war was over. We didn't need as much. Okay.
It wasn't like over, but the Marine Corps' role in it was very, very, very limited.
What was how long did you think about going in? Like, was it a process? Was it like, did you weigh the factors, or was it just like out of high school, gung ho, I'm going in?
It's kind of my whole life. Like, okay, so my grandfather on my dad's side is a Marine Corps veteran. He fought in Vietnam and did a lot of crazy stuff over there. Came back and has a lot of things wrong with him, and you know, PTSD and all that stuff. But before all that stuff hit, he would tell me and my brothers kind of like stories here and there when we would go visit him in Farmington. He'd be like, you know, this, that, and the other, and like the thought of like being a, you know, United States Marine was like super cool to me. It's like if you're in any other branch, you're a wuss. Like,
so you were set pretty young in your mindset that you were going in.
I'd go outside with my BB gun when I was 3, 4, 5, you know, a young kid, and be like, oh,
the imaginary battles in your head.
Crawling. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like,
I used to do the same shit in my backyard. I still remember getting a fake one of the fake guns from the Alco.
Yeah,
you know, the big one that made the noise. Those were the shit back then. You know,
I think I even stole a knife from like our kitchen drawer and like tied it to the end of my my BB gun. Yeah, and I was like, I got a bayonet. Like I'm at it. So it was always like a lifelong thing for me. And I was like, you know, it was always kind of in the back of my mind. We got to our junior year in high school, and I was like,
wasn't that when they started bringing in the recruiters to talk to and stuff like that, to kind of give an idea for like future?
Well, honestly, I called the recruiter when we were in high school, sophomore year, and he was like, "Oh, you're a little young, but we could get the process started. You know, you figure things out,
learn some details and stuff like that." Okay. That's cool that you called them that young too, you know.
I realized at a young age that I was never going to make it through college. I was just going to waste money if I tried to go.
See, that was my thing. I look at so many of our friends that went to college, and like kudos to them for making it through graduating or even just getting partway through.
Yeah, good for them.
I would love to have gone to college just to get the experience. Not necessarily the all the other shit, but just the experience.
For sure.
We look at our one buddy we mentioned earlier, Aaron. And this is just an example. I remember having a conversation with him at one point. He was like 2-3 years in, you know, had some debt already from the school debt, and was only working for like, I can't remember the exact number, you know, like high teens.
Oh yeah.
And then you look at somebody like our Robert.
Yeah.
He was in work in high school.
Yeah.
He was at the same point in time. He was already making like 28 an hour.
Oh, for sure.
And I was sitting there. I was like, college is kind of useless unless you're going into a specific field that requires it, because you're coming out in debt, going into a low-paying job.
Yeah.
Whether you can just go into a low-paying job right out of high school, and now you're in a high-paying job by the time that person's getting into their job.
So let me like argue with you about that. Not even argue, like refute that. Mm-hmm. So we're fortunate to grow up in somewhere like where there's a good like there's a system.
Workforce.
Yeah, good workforce. There's a need for people because of the oil field. The oil field supplies us. As much as people hate the oil field, and I do, like I don't hate the oil field, but like. You hate the mindset of it. Well, I hate the mindset of it. You get people from all over like the country coming and work here, and they're like, I'm an oil field guy, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, piss off. It's not that. Like, they glorify oil field work.
Yeah.
But we are fortunate enough to like be in a place where you can go from just graduating high school.
Just straight into the workforce.
And I'm an example of that. I graduated high school, and I went into oil field construction right out of high school. And I kid you not, I was making $1,500 a week.
So you didn't go into the Marine first. This was a later choice.
And it wasn't because like I didn't want to.
Yeah.
There was some other circumstances where my mom couldn't sign the paperwork for me to go earlier. So I had to wait till I turned 18 so I could sign the paperwork myself.
I get you. Yeah. So you were just waiting for the age point.
So I hit 18 on July 28th after we graduated.
So what, like 4 months into summer or something like that?
Yeah, 4 months. So like that between May, June, I guess we'll just say June.
Yeah,
I was started oil field construction. I was making $1,500 a week and no skills.
Oh yeah, that's the good thing about here, because they'll just put you to work.
Yeah,
they'll tell you what to do. But that's where that's why I say I hate the mindset of the oil field. Is the mindset of the oil field is it's got to get done. You're doing it. Mm-hmm. And as many oil field companies preach safety, they don't give a shit.
Oh, 100%.
And that's where, like, I work, you know, I can't mention where I work, but where I work at, you know, I'm fortunate enough that they are 100% safety. They don't give a shit about if it gets done today.
Yeah, because y'all got a big entity that's controlling that.
Yeah. And I love that aspect. I love my job just from the pure fact that it's an easier job. Don't get me wrong. The machines do a lot of the work. There's days that suck like any other job. But I love it because it's like a family. They care about the employee.
That's
and
cool.
when I was at, I don't give a fuck about saying Ratliff. When I was there, they didn't give a shit. And this is where I was talking about, like, if you want to bash somebody, I can give a fuck less. If you do it on here, I'll join you in it. Like, Ratliff, I didn't like because they just didn't care. The day I got fired, did I ever tell you why I got fired?
I've heard things here and there, but I don't know.
Not from me personally.
No.
The reason I got fired was I have a CDL. So,
like, still currently?
Yes, currently. You have to have it at my job. It's required. But I had it then. And I was driving the big truck. They needed some panel racks set for the electricians in Orla. Had to drive to Orla, set the panel racks. Had to drive to Pecos, set panel racks. Had to drive from Pecos to Payo. That's a lot of driving. And a truck that doesn't have AC, midsummer, the transmission heat's all coming into the cab.
Yeah.
No lunch during that entire time. And I get to the location with the guys at like 6. I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to eat my lunch, take my 30-minute break.
Yeah.
I start doing that, and the foreman gets up in my face. I can't stand this dude to this day.
Yeah.
What are you doing? I'm like, I'm taking lunch. He's like, no, you're not. We're out here working. It's way past lunchtime. So I haven't had mine. So I'm like, whatever. I scarf my burrito down and get straight to work.
Yeah.
23 minutes later, I go to get water. No, we ain't got time for water. We got to get this done. I hate that mindset.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
And it got to the point that night, he was sitting in the truck for like 2-3 hours at this point. Me and the other guys were doing an anchor hole, and that takes a lot of shoveling to fill that thing back in.
Yeah.
You know, you're digging 6 feet down.
Yeah, a lot of manual labor.
We're all sluggish, tired. We've done like 5 anchors at that point. And he comes up out of his truck, shovels in real fast, grabs his nuts. I guess I'm the only one with cojones around here to work right. Right then, that was the end of it.
Yeah.
I took my hard hat and threw that motherfucker at him, hit him right in the elbow, and I was going for him.
Yeah.
Nano stepped in between, stopped me, I still wish he wouldn't have, because I got fired without even a good enough reason for my point. I was like, if I would have hit him and got fired, fine with me.
Yeah.
But they stopped that. The dude drove by me, pick up the other guys, and didn't even pick me up. So I'm like, oh, I guess I'm screwed. I'm walking back to Wink from Pio, which is a good 17-mile walk for the people that don't know.
Yeah.
And I get partway down the highway. The other guy's got my phone in his truck. Not the guy that I got mad at. Caleb Francis, you know him.
Yeah.
He's got my phone in the truck. Some dude stopped by. He's like, hey, man, I can't give you a ride. Do you need to use my phone? I was like, yeah, I could use your phone. I called my phone. They answered. Where you at? Because Caleb was looking for me. Him and Nano, they were looking for me out in the pasture. They think I was walking straight to Wink, you know.
Yeah. You're like, no, I'm taking
the highway at least. I'm not getting jumped by a bunch of feral coyotes or something, you know. But I was like, no, I'm already like 3 miles down the road.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we'll come to get you.
Yeah.
They come and pick me up, get back to the house. You know, I'm thinking like, well, I didn't hit him. I'm not getting fired.
Yeah.
Next day, they're like, hey, Shane needs to see you in the office in the morning. Mm-hmm. Walk in there. No questions asked. Not what happened, what's going on, why the outburst, what's going on.
Yeah.
You're loose cannon. We don't need you here. And then like 5 months later, not even 5 months, like 3 months later, Nolan's telling me like, oh, yeah, no, now they're asking the questions about what happened, because all the things that were going wrong at the company that was being blamed on me, I didn't even know. Yeah. Was still happening, and they're like, okay, this wasn't Jeremy Glass's fault.
Yeah. So your problem with the company isn't like upper management. I guess it kind of trickles down sometimes.
It trickles down. It was just the pure fact that they just didn't care. It didn't seem
just the culture of the company.
People dog on this man, Charles Woods. You know him. You've heard the rumors about his attitude. People dog on him. As a work person, he has a terrible attitude.
Yeah.
As an outside person to work, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's the one that gave me that trailer I lived in. He gave me a roof over my head, so I can't say nothing ill will about him.
Yeah.
At work, he's a whole different person and a whole different entity at that. I can't stand work Charles. I like him outside of that.
Yeah.
Never had an issue with him. Charles was perfectly fine. Like, take it out in the pasture, throw the fuck down, and get back to work.
Yeah.
Call today.
Yeah.
It was Shane that fired me.
Yeah.
And Shane Youngblood, he's always, you can tell just by looking at him where he lives, he's an uppity guy, you know. And like I said, you ain't got to agree or disagree. You may know him better. He's an uppity dude.
I don't know him well enough, but I've had very limited interaction with him, so
yeah.
I feel like my comments on him
would be invalid.
It would be invalid because I don't know him like that, and I don't have any.
In my opinion, he's pretty uppity, and which is, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You know me, I got my fucking tripod sitting over here on solo cup. I got a paper towel up there hanging for the lights. You know,
and
pretty simplistic compared to them. So.
Well, and on that note, my thing is, it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter where you live. If you're a good person, you're a good person.
Yeah.
And that's all I judge people off of. Is if you're a good person, you're a good person. I might judge people passing by and stuff like that. I don't think you can help that. But
oh yeah, you can. It's like me. My thing is, if you show me respect, I'll show you respect. That's absolutely. The bottom line. You disrespect me instantly after meeting you, that's it. You're never getting respect from me.
Yeah.
Unless you just straight up, hey man, I didn't mean to do you this way. I apologize. I've met a few people that I've given a second chance and like those guys today.
Yeah.
But yeah, that my dad raised me full on. Respect is respect. As long as it's given, it's got.
Yeah.
And absolutely. I just felt like I never got respect over there at that company. You know?
That sucks. I need to take a piss. So
that's perfectly fine. I already broke the seal. I'm going right after you. Just remember, you got the mic on your back, so don't drop it or nothing in the toilet.
I'll try not to.
Oh. Yeah, whatever. By the way, for the audience, I'm not editing this out. By the way, you can just skip forward a couple seconds till he comes back. Same goes for whenever I go. I'm not editing any of this shit out. I'm too lazy to do that. Actually, you know what? I'll be right back. I'm just going outside.
It's all you, Jeremy Glass.
Thank you. Yeah, I knew earlier once I broke that seal, I was screwed.
Oh, that's it.
That's always it.
In there.
And there's room in the freezer if you want to get them super cold.
Man, they're doing good right now.
Going back to your marine life, this is one thing I want to talk about.
Sure.
I always hear like some of the drinking on base or outside of base with the crew. Does that get as wild as they talk about?
So the best description, maybe like people can relate to, is, and I can't like. This is my opinion of it, and other people might have different thoughts, but the Marine Corps is like the biggest fraternity you can join. You've got a bunch of people that are 17, 18 years old, living in basically a big apartment building, not as nice as like most apartments you could live in, together in a high stress environment. You go to work and you get bitched at all the time. You got high standards. You got deadlines you got to meet and unrealistic timelines and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, how do you cut the edge off?
Oh yeah, that's like that's life anyway.
Yeah, you crack open a beer or you crack open a bottle of, whatever it might be, whatever your vice might be. So the culture, the drinking culture is almost unmatched. I will say a bunch of my buddies, right before I got out, there's a big deployment to Norway just for a big field exercise. I think Russia was like posturing up. They were doing stuff in the ocean over there by Norway. So the United States, was going to posture up, do a big exercise, on land. So I don't remember what city it was. There's an article out there. Y'all could probably look it up.
Did you go to that Norway?
I didn't go to the Norway exercise. I was out processing at that point, so wasn't eligible to go, which I was super upset about. But so there's a city in Norway where like the Marines were like camped outside or like near. And the Marines were allowed to go to that city like on the weekend or something like that. But in a weekend, they drank the entire beer supply of that Norwegian city.
How many Marines was it?
You'd have to look at the article. It was Marines and sailors.
In the hundreds or thousands?
I want to say it's probably in the thousands. Like
lower thousands?
Probably lower thousands, but they like
still that's a lot of people.
They drank the entire supply of beer. So they like that city was importing beer, like saying, hey, we need beer.
Oh yeah, these bars, these convenience stores, or whatever they got over there, calling, hey, we need more. We're selling like hotcakes.
And there are a million pages like that you could follow, like on Instagram, all those other social media places that
talk about these things.
Yeah, talk about these things and like show you just like day-to-day life, like people in the Marine Corps. Like these dudes are crazy. Like the like most insane people you'll ever meet, like in your life. The some of the greatest people you'll ever meet.
See, I think the only Marines I know is you. I think you're the only one I know.
Hugo.
Well, I knew Hugo too, but rest his soul. I never got to talk to him. I don't think after he was in it. I think you're the only person I know that I've talked to that's after. Or no, I take that back. I got another buddy. He's from Kermit. You might know. Well, no, he's a bit older than us. Cole Steele.
I don't.
He used to go by Nate Steele.
That sounds very familiar.
He used to party at Cheddar's all the time.
I might know him. I might if I like
well, he looks completely. He's bald like I am.
Yeah,
now. Big old beard now. He looks completely different now. But yeah, no, he was the only other one I think besides you that I knew that was a Marine.
Yeah, Tyler Abila.
I see. I haven't seen him since high school.
See, and that's like extended family for me. So,
okay.
See,
I always liked him. I still remember. out of his class, there were a lot of dicks in his class, and I have no problem saying I'm related to one of them. Well, I heard he's a lot better now. Tate. Yeah. Tate was a fucking dick in high school.
My daughter actually goes to school with his son, so
really?
like they're in the same class.
Yeah, in high school, to me anyway, he was a dick, and apparently I'm related to the Slaughter somehow by like marriage or something. I don't know exactly how my grandma told me, but to me he was a dick. Fucking Cody Perez. Never got along with him.
Yeah, I didn't have very many interactions with him. I tried not to, you know.
But yeah, no, other than that, Tyler Bila, out of his class, he was the one I enjoyed. I went to I still remember me and him almost ended up in El Paso one time by accident.
Really?
We probably would have realized way before then, thinking about it now, but back then, thinking about it, we were coming from a Crane 7-on-7. I drove with him. It was when he had the Challenger in high school.
Yeah.
And we almost missed the exit leaving Monaghan's, and we didn't know where the fuck we were going. It was coming off that highway. I can't remember the name of it, but onto the interstate.
Yeah.
And we're like, do we take this exit? Do we not? Do we not?
Oh,
We're like, just fuck it, take this exit. We took the exit, and then we saw up on the bridge, it was like El Paso, this many miles away. We probably would have noticed beforehand, but we were about to drive straight there and be lost as shit. High school kids, not knowing where they're at, we would have been lost.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And him I always enjoyed. Caleb Blackburn. One
cool dude. Yeah.
Did you ever hear about when me and Pondo pranked the fuck out of him?
Nah.
It was in high school. And Pondo was coming over that day to the house, me living in Kermit. Caleb lived in Kermit, so we were going to get a ride from him. And during lunch, we went and first off, speaking of Coach Laura earlier, we went into his classroom and we took almost all of the glitter. Remember all the art supplies he had? We took almost all of that glitter.
Yep.
And during lunch, Caleb went into the cafeteria. We went to his truck. He left it unlocked. Everybody didn't wink.
Oh, yeah.
We dumped all that glitter into his vents.
I remember that. I know what you're talking about, yeah.
And then we put it up in his visor.
Yeah.
And then we pointed all the vents towards his car because we knew towards him because we knew we were getting a ride. It was like a
what
little
did he drive?
Truck.
Do you remember?
A single cab, like F-150, I want to say. Maybe a cab and a half. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
But I remember Pondo sitting in the middle, so I think it was a single cab.
Yeah.
We pointed all the vents to him. He turned that AC on, glitter everywhere, and he was mad at first.
Yeah.
Get like halfway to wink. That was pretty funny, guys. And they went to pull down his visor and more glitter fell out.
No.
He was like, I'm never giving you motherfuckers right again.
He wasn't a bad dude.
No, he was a funny dude. I hadn't seen him in years.
I hadn't either.
But yeah, no, he was a funny guy. Funny people in a class, just fucking Pondo in general, dude. That dude did some spearing, wailing off the fucking rails, some of the shit they would do.
Dude, Pondo's wild.
Especially in high school, he was wild.
And I remember him from like when we were in kindergarten, and he was wearing the transition lenses, and I was like, what are those? We'd go out, he's wearing normal glasses inside the school, and then we went outside, and it's like, he's got sunshades on, and I'm like, how's he doing this? Like, what is it?
Middle school. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't even middle school. This was elementary.
Oh,
we were
elementary.
probably like second grade.
Kids. You're like, this is dark magic.
I was like, this dude is next level. I don't know what he's doing.
See, that was the other thing I was going to talk about, too, was some of our high school experiences. One I specifically remember with you is the Auto Tech trip to Corpus Christi.
That was a good time, yeah.
Were you one of the ones that got a henna with us?
I did not.
I remember me and Josh Bradford did. I couldn't. Yeah. Were you there when we got it though?
Was Josh Bradford with us?
Yes, he was, because he got one on his back. I got one on my shoulder.
No, I didn't get a henna tattoo.
You didn't? Okay, there was somebody else that did. I can't remember, but you were walking with us whenever we had them on. Remember that? Coach Shaq getting pissed.
Oh, he was upset. Yeah.
I just remember us walking on the beach. We just see the van. Oh, there goes Coach Shaq and then just breaks. I had it right here. I still remember. I had it right here on my arm. It was like a bull.
Yeah.
Oh, bull skull.
Oh yeah, I do. And, I do vaguely remember that.
And then I just remember seeing the brakes hitting all the dirt flying up from the main road.
Yeah.
And I just see Coach Shaq and Mr. Gray.
Yeah.
And all I remember is hearing in the distance, y'all stupid motherfucker, goddamn you pieces of shit. What the fuck did I tell y'all? Just cussing all the way to us, and he gets up and I remember him yanked my arm.
Oh yeah.
And I looked at it. I thought they were fucking real because he saw there was no redness around him and shit. And we did that specifically for that reaction there.
Yeah.
Dude, that was a crazy trip.
For nothing. What did we do in Auto Tech that really warranted that, like us going to Corpus Christi?
Were you in my group? You, me, and Hollis? Was it you, me, and Hollis? I think it was me, Hollis, and Waylon.
I didn't go at the same time as Hollis did. I went. I definitely remember going.
I thought Hollis was there with us.
Hollis did go one time. I missed.
Oh, you missed that one?
I missed.
Okay, so that was the second year. Yeah. I can't remember what we did the first year. It was the lawnmower.
Yeah, we did do the lawnmower.
We painted
it was
the
the
lawnmower.
Forrest Gump lawnmower.
No, it was the Wink Wildcat one we gave to Coach Owens.
Really? I thought it was a Forrest Gump lawnmower.
You may have been in a different group. I know
Okay,
my
might have
group
been a
did
different
because
group.
I love Coach Owens.
Yeah.
I remember doing the Wink Wildcat one, orange with the black stripes in it, and the WW. That was mine. I remember that.
I don't know where he's at. Do you know where?
Man, I haven't heard so long about him, but last I heard, he was in like the 4th-ranked defense school in Texas.
Yeah.
And he was the defense coordinator.
He's doing pretty good.
Yeah, obviously.
Good for him.
Yeah. And but I remember one year, like you said, did nothing. It was me, Hollis, and Waylon. I remember this group. Coach Shack gave us a starter, an old starter, and gave us some parts for a starter. Said, hey, take this old starter apart, replace these parts, put it back together, and that's your project.
Yeah.
We took it apart. We didn't know how to get the motherfucker back together. He's like,
luck,
and we were leaving. Did y'all get that put back together? No, we took it apart, but we couldn't figure out how to put it back together. He's like, all right, y'all can get it tomorrow.
Yeah.
We walk out. We come back in the next day. Motherfucker's already put back together.
Yeah.
Hands us a camera. Make it look like y'all did it. So we're taking pictures of like Hollis holding wrenches, Waylon holding wrenches, just doing stupid shit.
Pretend like y'all are.
And he was the one that did it, and we made a state off of that.
Oh, yeah, I believe it.
And were you there when they got in a wreck?
Yes, I was there that time.
Were you in
Corpus?
Were you in the van when it happened? Because I wasn't.
I wasn't in the van either. No.
See, that's why I think Hollis was with us that year, because I remember. Garrett, were you there when Garrett Floyd rented the golf cart?
Maybe
and didn't pay for it.
Maybe I don't.
I remember this. He rented the golf cart and didn't pay for it, and he put my number down.
Oh,
because he has to borrow my phone.
Yeah. And
he saved the number for the golf cart places. Do not answer. He's like, oh no, that's my ex. Just don't answer that shit. So I didn't answer it, all fucking weekend.
Yeah.
We're like 4 days over rent with that shit. He didn't pay anything. He had to call his parents at the end of that trip and have them pay with credit card over phone. That's where I remember Hollis, because we're driving down the street. I took a Russian gas mask with us and wearing that in the golf cart in the back.
I do remember that.
So Hollis was there that year. That was the year.
Maybe he was.
Because remember, the dude was walking down the street. And Hollis yelled out, hey, you got any weed? And the dude waved us back, oh, come on back.
Yeah, I think I do remember that.
And then we went into that fucking surf store, but had bongs everywhere, dude. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you were there. And we ordered way too much on our last day there.
Yeah, we did.
Because I think it was me, Josh, and... No, Aaron wasn't there. It was me, Josh... I know me and Josh for sure, and somebody else. I can't remember who.
Might have been Waylon. I don't know.
It was probably Waylon. No way. Waylon was sitting with you in the middle. I remember that. I still remember this. I don't know why. We ordered the appetizer, and it was like a $30 appetizer.
Yeah.
But we ordered it for the whole table.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't hear us order it. The middle section ordered it for the whole table. Coach Shaq and Mr. Gray didn't hear anybody order it, so they ordered it for the whole table.
Yeah.
$90 just in appetizers already. Not even a meal yet.
And that's nothing for the school. That was nothing.
That was nothing. But we went over budget because I remember them like... We're not stopping at that barbecue place on the way back. We're going to McDonald's.
Yeah.
I still remember that.
I do recall that, too.
Coach Shaq stopping at the store, and every one of y'all grab a different beef jerky. I don't want to look like I'm buying all this. I just want to try every one of them. Y'all can have the bags.
Yep.
I remember that.
I saw Coach Shaq not too long ago at one of our friends' weddings, and same old dude, man. He's a great time. I had a beer with him. He's doing good, man. It's crazy.
I don't think I've ever drank with Shaq.
Oh, it was great, man.
I remember him at Ratliff. God, he was a hoot at Ratliff.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it.
I mean, hell, he was a hoot in high school. Yeah. I remember he threatened to punch Casey Fuqua in the face. Were you there in that one?
Nah, I'm sure I did.
It was in the auto tech class.
I'm sure I was there. I remember one time we were being dickheads also, like, in his class, and he's like, y'all are treating me like fuck sticks. Y'all are being fuck sticks. And we were like, what's a fuck stick? He's like, y'all are being dicks. Like, and I was like, oh, why didn't you just start off that way?
Well, I remember this. I think because did you have the 2 periods or the 1 period and then you left during the half? I had the 2 periods.
1 period.
That's what it was.
Because I was a teacher's aide.
Yeah, the second period it was me, Stephen Barrera, William Putnam, and a couple others. Casey Fuqua wasn't there.
Casey Fuqua.
And you know Casey, he was bad in high school.
No,
he was walking around grabbing all the drills, playing with the drills, and I still remember we're all just sitting there talking bullshitting.
Was Justin Bennett?
Yes, Justin Bennett was in there.
Yeah.
And I remember the chair sliding back and hearing the rollers on the concrete. And he didn't even get out of his office yet. Casey motherfucking Fuqua, if you don't...
He might have called him Fuqua.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
If you don't quit messing with them power tools, da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And then Casey started laughing. You think this is funny? I'm going to punch you in the fucking face. Dip spitting everywhere. Yeah. And then we're trying to hold it in not to laugh because we know if we start laughing, we're getting yelled at.
Oh, 100%.
Those days, man.
The good old times, man.
Oh, yeah.
That was fun. What about you? What's you graduated high school? What was your thought process? Were you like,
man, I was dead set on wrestling.
okay,
I was dead set on it. I was across the country 2 days after I graduated. I was in West Virginia 2 days after I graduated.
let me interrupt you real quick, because I think about it and it's gonna go if I if I don't say it. So me, Waylon Hollis, and my wife went to midget wrestling.
I seen the pictures from that, dude.
Bro, we had an extra ticket and we were like, should we call Jeremy? Should we call? It was on a Wednesday night. And
I probably wouldn't have been. Well, actually, my job, dude, I can just literally be like, hey, T, I can't make it in tomorrow. I get paid comp time.
And that's what we were like, should we tell him? Should we not? We were like, we don't want to put any pressure on him to make him feel like he has to come, but we don't,
I'll never feel like that. Me, I'll just be like, hey, I got comp time. Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, I'll be like, nah, I ain't got the time to take off.
Bro, it was a fucking good time, man. We were
I seen the pictures and I was like, God, that looked like so fun.
It was a good time. We had some beers, had some shots, man. Mm-hmm. It was a good time.
See, and but yeah, no, my thought process right out of high school was I'm going to be a wrestler, and I put everything I had into that basket.
Like, you think you're gonna be on like WWE? You're gonna be
that was
Monday night or Friday night?
I was going for TNA at first. That was a big company back in the day.
Is that the kind of like a starter company?
No. They were the rivals to WB at the time, not the starter. They were the rivals.
See, and I always assumed that they were owned by the WWE.
No, they weren't even. They were complete rivals.
Okay.
And that was my thought process at the time. They were big. They had a school in Ohio Valley Wrestling at Louisville, Kentucky, and I got up to West Virginia, and I'm talking like no driver's license, no work experience, not knowing what the fuck I'm doing, and $20,000 in my bank account.
In the Appalachians?
Yeah, and I got up there. I was living with one of my dad's buddies, Sean. I want to come back to him in a little bit because we're talking about some of the shit. But
yeah.
I was living with him. I was going to get a job up there in West Virginia, and that's where you were talking about the workforce.
Is this like coal mines job? Or
no, I was looking for like Dollar Generals and shit.
Okay, just
and, know, basic jobs.
Yeah.
Up there, dude, you can't find a job to save your life up there. That's where you were talking about, like, we're lucky down here during the workforce. That's where I first learned that. I was applying for Dollar Generals. There was a glass factory I applied for where they did like hand blown like fucking glass panes and shit. Whatever I could find in Walmart.
You gotta have skill to have a job, yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'll get a call in the week. Never got a call for any of them.
Yeah.
And then the time came, I was still at like fucking a good like not even 17, probably like $18,000 in my bank.
Yeah.
Went down to Louisville, got a hotel stay, and I'm thinking Texas hotel stays here.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is gonna be like $128 a fucking night, whatever.
$60.
They were like, I was like, all right, how much is it? And they're like, $240. I said a week.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, it's like $34 a night. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Blowing my mind. So I got the week. Going to apartments. This is where I first learned the world doesn't revolve around money. It revolves around credit.
Yeah.
And I was going to these apartments. How much for a 6-month lease? About $7,000. I was like, I got that cash today. Oh, no, you got to go through a credit check.
Yeah.
Like, what? Yeah. And then, I was looking at nicer apartments. I probably could have found a shittier apartment that would have took it.
Yeah.
These were had tennis courts, fucking washing rooms, all that stuff.
You had no idea, though.
Yeah. Well, where my hotel was, it was just nice neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And not having a car, not having a driver's license. I couldn't drive across town to look for another one.
Yeah.
And I went to the school for a week, and they were real cool. They were like, hey, don't pay, because it was like $1,500 or something like that for like 6 months or something like that. They were like, don't pay until you find a spot to live.
Yeah.
Never found a spot to live. I was there for 2 weeks, couldn't find an apartment. Nobody would call me back. And I didn't know what to do besides retreat.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I put all my eggs in one basket with no knowledge of how the world worked.
Yeah.
So I retreated back here.
That's kind of fun, though.
It was a great experience. I made a trip out of it. That's where I got this tattoo at with Louisville. I found the best shop there.
Oh, see, that's cool.
That's actually a cool story too. This tattoo.
Yeah.
I went in. It was called the Hornet's Nest. I went in, talking to the lady up front, and I was like, "Hey, I'm looking to get this tattoo done. Can I get it sometime this week? I'm on vacation,
Yeah.
And they had a great artist. I'm talking like people that were booked for weeks. And one guy was there talking. He's like, he heard me telling her what I wanted, and he was like, hey, I got this, telling the secretary, I got this. He's like, I want to do this tattoo. He was a big fan of that video game character.
Yeah.
And he's like, here's the thing, I'm not working all weekend.
Yeah.
He's like, my daughter's birthday's tomorrow, but I'm tired of doing letters. I'm tired of doing feathers. I'm tired of hope, faith, love, all this basic shit.
A watch or clock or whatever, the basic shit.
He's like, tomorrow from like 1 to 6, I have to be there for my daughter's birthday. After that, I will come in on my time off and do this tattoo for you. And I could see the excitement in his face right then and there. I was like, that's the dude doing it. Because he's so excited that I know he's going to do a good job.
Yeah.
And that's how I got that. But going back to the other shit, I retreated.
Yeah.
And my dumb ass, being dumb as I was like, well, shit, if I can't do practice the wrestling down here, I'll buy a wrestling ring, bring it back home, and I'll practice it. And that's how I got that. Dumbest mistake of my life. From
bad investment.
Exactly, bad investment. It was $9,000 total by the end of all of it, between shipping, the wrestling ring, and the wood.
You're young.
I was young, dumb, and don't get me wrong.
Full of cum.
If I still had that wrestling ring today, I would be the happiest motherfucker ever.
I'm sure,
I would probably be fucking jacked.
I was going to say, you'd probably be a lot skinnier.
Yeah. I love that thing, and I hated that I had to sell it just because I didn't have a place to put it anymore.
I'm sure, yeah.
And of course, I mean, fucking three grand shit, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's where I made a mistake on that. And blew through my inheritance money that I got from my dad passing. As I said, it was like 21 grand, somewhere around that. Yeah. Blew through that. No vehicle to show for it. No house to show for it.
Bro, you're young.
Oh, yeah, I was young at the time. I didn't care.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if I were in your same shoes, bro, I would have nothing to show for it right now either. So,
looking at it now, I'm like, oh, man, I should have bought a fucking house. I should have had this. I should have had that.
Yeah, put a down payment on something nice or whatever it might be.
Yeah, but at that point, by the time I came back here, I was like almost 20. Mm-hmm. Tried to do roster at work, hated it.
Oh, sure,
I quit that shit in like 3 fucking days.
Yeah.
Tried to do
solid labor.
Yeah, I tried to be a welder's helper. Hated that
solid
shit.
Labor also.
Wasn't even the solid labor. It was the fact, like, in a fucking pit, no water for like 24 hours because all the other welders didn't buy any water for them in their hands, so they were drinking all of our shit.
Yeah.
So by like noon, we had no water.
Fuck that.
Hated that shit. I had a heat stroke my first day on the job. After that, never went back.
Yeah.
Then I finally where did I work after that? I went to the state. Was living with a buddy here in town. And not knowing how to interact with people or solve arguments with people, this is where like things like my younger life didn't prepare me for anything.
Yeah.
One argument, I'm fucking out. I'm moving out. That's it. That's the end of it. I moved out into my truck.
Yeah.
And it was so dumb. There was no communication skills that I didn't have.
Yeah.
And I love that dude today. I still talk to him. He lives up in Minnesota. He was a cool guy. I think you may have went to his house once. Antonio, right across the street from the dollar store.
Sounds familiar, but don't get me lying.
That's why I had my wrestling ring for a little bit. I remember like Pondo and all them partying.
I don't think I did.
I think Aaron went over there. Whoever.
I feel like I
remember some of the high school buddies. I couldn't remember if you were there. I don't think I did. Yeah. The more I think about it, I don't think you were.
Yeah.
Things
get muddled up the longer I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they do. But regardless, it was a cool place, cool dude. And it was just one of the things, we got in an argument or something. He was like, fucking, this ain't working, fucking get your shit. And he didn't mean it, when he said it. It was just the heat of the moment.
Emotions take control,
my emotions didn't know how to deal with that shit. So I was like, fuck it. I got all my shit and I left. Lived in my truck for a month out in the pasture.
Oh, fuck that. I remember watching your videos. Did you have videos out?
No, I didn't. This was before YouTube, way before YouTube. I probably had Snapchats. Is probably what you see.
You know what? I think you made a video about like telling the story.
Talking about it. That's probably that's what it was. I loved living out there.
I'm sure.
So simple, man. Just all I did was walk around and chop down mesquites all fucking day.
Yeah.
My arms were jacked. I was healthy. Yeah. The only thing that ever scared me about that was I was afraid I was going to wake up with like a pack of coyotes under my truck looking for warmth.
Yeah.
And I loved it out there. Mm-hmm. I was there for a month before my mom convinced me to move in. She finally came back into the picture.
Yeah.
She convinced me to move in with her in Odessa. She's like, I'll pay for your college. I'll pay for this. You just move in with me. Don't worry about it. Dumbest mistake of my life. I knew I shouldn't have trusted that bitch.
Yeah.
I say that. We have a healthy relationship now. I love you, Mom.
At
the time, that was my thought process.
Yeah.
A month after living with her, I came over here to hang out with Pondo and them. Mm-hmm. And then I got back, everything in the house was packed up. Mm-hmm. She's like, hey, you got to get your shit and pack it up. I'm moving back to Ohio. You got to find a place to live. In my head, this is my thought process going through my head at this time. I'm thinking, she abandoned me when I was 3. She came into my life after my dad passed, giving me hope. Now she's abandoned me again.
Yeah.
Worst decision of my life because I had it planned out to live
A lot of emotions involved.
Oh yeah, a lot of emotions. I had it planned out to live in that pasture.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking like I was about, my next paycheck was coming up working. I was still working full time, living homelessly in a truck. I was like, next paycheck coming up, I'm gonna buy a fucking $high generator. I'm gonna buy some floodlights. I'm gonna just live out here.
Yeah.
Fuck it, whatever. If I got caught, I got caught.
Skid Row it. Yeah.
I was living on the Rorschach's land, so it was a bad place to live.
Yeah,
but
good luck with that.
there was never any cows around me. There was never, the oil field location I was on was shut down completely.
Yeah.
So I was pretty good. Like I said, I lived out there a month. No one noticed. I love that shit. That was great by me. After that, working at the state. Oh, I need to stop saying that. Working.
I was gonna say the number 2. We need a timestamp it.
There ain't no editing in this shit. I didn't say what state.
Yeah.
Working while I worked, I didn't use their name, so I should be good. They don't know what entity. Working while I worked. I worked there, and then from there I went to Ratliff. Them I don't give a fuck about saying. Well, I lived jobless for a while. Lived over at Pondo's on his couch at the trailer.
Yeah.
Good times, bad times. Living in a place where you ain't got your own bedroom and your own personal space, it causes a big issue between people.
Yeah, no privacy. Yeah,
no privacy, friction. Them up to, them trying to watch TV till fucking 12 o'clock at night, and I'm sleeping on the couch trying to sleep because I got work tomorrow, and I'm just not built like that. There was a lot of tension. Loved it though. One of the best times of my life. I wouldn't trade it for nothing.
You kind of look back on it, and you look back on it fondly because you're like, dang, like a little bit free, you don't have to worry about.
It wasn't even the worry. It was the camaraderie we had. Because that was the only time I felt like I had siblings. Like I said, I grew up a single child. I never had that experience. I loved it.
Yeah.
Gabriel, Gabriel. I love Gabriel to death. He is the closest I've ever had to a sibling in my life.
Yeah.
We're cousins by marriage, very loosely cousins.
Yeah.
But I will always refer to him as my cousin because I just love that motherfucker to death. And I always call him whether he answers, because he never answers his fucking phone.
Yeah.
That's just him personally. Like, no, he doesn't answer for nobody. But he always hits me up randomly. I love that guy to death. Living with him was cool. Living with Bert was cool. I loved living with him. Me and Bert got into it many times. We're both very high-strung people.
Oh, yeah.
Lived there for a while. Finally got the camper. The camper was right outside his house, so it was for a while. So it was, I had electricity, but not water. So go into his house, take a shower, use shit, to go back to my camper, sleep.
Yeah.
Worked for a while until we got into it. Finally, I moved off on my own. Loved that. Loved living in the camper. It was a piece of shit camper. Yeah. Anybody that's watched the older videos knows how much of a piece of shit this camper was.
There are holes in the cabinets.
holes in the cabinets without doors, holes in the floors, and stuff like that. I got to piss.
I got to piss too.
Yeah. Quick break. We'll be right back.
Mind if we also have a cigarette, or I have a cigarette?
Oh, that's why I put that ashtray right there for you. You can smoke in here all you need. I wonder if these mics pick that up.
I'm sure they do.
I'm sure they do. Let me make sure this is still recording. Yep, everything still seems to be good. Would you like to do a shot?
Absolutely.
All right. Di Serono good with you?
Yeah. No, for sure.
There's also waters here and everything that's good for you if you need it.
Say again, I'm sorry.
There's also waters and everything if you need a sip of water or anything at any time.
I think I'm a little seasoned, Jeremy Glass. I think I can. I say that right now. I'm gonna.
Well, it's not being seasoned. I've learned with my drinking, especially because I drink heavy. I'm not saying I drink heavy. I'm not saying I drink more than you or anything like that. I don't know.
You probably can. Yeah, I will say it myself.
But balance. I've learned. Do you know who Two Turn Tony is?
Yeah,
he's a TikToker. Yeah. I've learned through his videos that balance is super important. So you got to have your waters, you got to have your alcohol, you got to have your days where you don't drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheers to you, man. I appreciate you being here. One of the, I don't even know what subject we were on before, but...
You mind if I get that lighter up there?
Yeah, no, go ahead, man.
Okay.
Those cigarettes, if you want any of those instead, I don't care. Those are leftovers from people. The only thing I ever smoke is cigars.
Hit a cigar here and there.
Yeah, I had one in here and I threw it away because it was probably a little dry because it was like a week out without the container.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I shouldn't have thrown that away because I would have smoked that tonight.
Yeah.
But it was whatever. But yeah, no, regardless of where we were talking about me living with Bert and all them, the camaraderie. Yeah. I'm sure that conversation will come back up. We probably ended it short. One thing I wanted to know, man, kids. How did that change your life, man? Like, it's a subject that always like intrigues me because I don't have none. I don't have a wife. I'm single.
Do you want to have kids one day? I mean, is that like, and no judgment. I mean, like kids are a lot.
I don't know anymore, man. Growing up in high school, I was that person. That always wanted that American dream.
Yeah.
2 kids, a house, and wife, and all that stuff. Yeah. That's all I ever wanted growing up. And I think that was my problem, was growing up, I wanted that too much.
Yeah.
And those heartbreaks younger hit me harder because that's what, I wasn't looking for to date in high school.
Yeah,
I was
you were
looking
ready
for
to get
a
married.
wife. Yeah. And that hit me harder, man. And nowadays, I perfectly happy single. I've come to terms with that. I'm perfectly happy single.
That's cool.
And if kids happened, obviously I feel like my life would change.
Yeah.
I've always been one like, I have a motorcycle. I barely ride it now.
Yeah.
Ever, even now. But I've always been one of those, if I ever had kids, that motorcycle was gone immediately. And, some people do that when they're younger and they still give them to teenagers. I'm talking until they're graduated, that bike is not in the house because that's how I lost my dad, obviously.
Yeah,
so that's a big part of me. Mm-hmm. But my mindset currently, I don't want kids. This world is so shit right now that I feel like it's unfair to bring another child into this world, another person and entity into this world.
And I thought about that. So my first daughter, my wife and I were married for like 2 months, and then we were pregnant with her. So it was a surprise, to say the least.
What was the, sorry to interrupt you though, what was the mindset the second you got the announcement? Like that always intrigued me, like how people react.
So, like, whenever we figured out that, like, we were, like, going to have a kid. Like,
was it both at the same time, or was it, like, she surprised you with the thing?
Oh, no. So
it was just...
So, let me walk you through this. So, in 2015, me and my wife got married. February 2015, we got married. Mm-hmm. And it was great. We were young. I was 19 at the time. She was 19, too. Got married. And she was still in college at the time. So, I was in transition. I was in my MOS school in 29 Palms, California. And
what is MOS?
So my military occupational specialty.
Okay.
So that's your job. So
you're already enlisted at this point.
Yeah, I was enlisted at this point, and I was through boot camp, through combat training, and then onto your schooling. So my schooling takes a year. It's like one of the longest schools in the Marine Corps. It takes a long time. You got to do like basic electronics. It's a whole thing. So throughout that time, my wife and I are dating, and we're young, but I loved her. Like I knew, there was no doubt about it. And when I was in MOS school. Before you leave and graduate MOS school, you get orders to where you're going to go next. You're going to go to Camp Pendleton in California, you're going to go to Camp Lejeune in North Carolina, or you're going to go to Okinawa, Japan, wherever it might be.
Yeah.
I got cut orders to Japan.
Okay.
And I talked to my wife, and I was like, or my girlfriend at the time, and I was like, hey, I've got orders to Japan. And she was like, I don't, and orders to Japan mean you have to be in Japan for at least 2 years before you
2 years?
At least, that's the minimum.
God dang.
Before you come back to the continental United States.
Mm-hmm.
You can get married between that time and try to drag your wife over to Japan, but it's a whole process, and it's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
So I talked to my wife, and I was like, hey.
Girlfriend at the time.
My girlfriend at the time. I was like, hey, because like I said, we were like, young, dumb, madly in love.
I'm pretty sure that was a long conversation, though. I'm pretty sure it was stressful, too.
And we had been dating for a hot minute. I say a hot minute. We had been dating for probably a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. And I talked to her, and I was like, hey, I'm going to go to Japan unaccompanied, which means unaccompanied means like by myself, no wife, nothing, like nothing, because I wasn't married at the time. I was like, but if we get married, there's the chance that I could switch orders with somebody and stay continental. Or we get married and you go to Japan with me. But that's like, I'll have to be in Japan for a year.
2 years at least, you said.
Well, I'll have to be a year before she can come.
Okay,
yeah, exactly. Or it's something along those lines. I might be muddling it, so excuse me, it's been a minute.
Oh, man, no, I get that.
Yeah. So I was like, where are you at with that? And she was like, I'd be willing to marry you. So I was like, okay.
So this was the marriage conversation.
There was
no down on the knees special dinner.
There was, though.
At this point, though. This was like, you were already committed at this point, and then the big thing happened later.
Yeah, so we had talked before that about getting married, and I'm telling you, I knew she was the one, like, from the start. And I know it's cliche, and I know it's like cheesy.
Oh, it's not cliche at all, man. Cliche is a very weird term. When you love somebody, you love somebody. As simple as that.
And man, and I'd never met anybody like her. So it, like our relationship, I'd never had a relationship with a human being like I had with her. So I told her, I was like, would you be willing to? Because I didn't want to do the whole proposal process and get like denied and have to go to Japan and be by my lonesome because all
it's hard. It's hard.
There's a whole lot of weight behind it. So we talked about it, and she's like, yeah, absolutely. She's like, you're the one. I was like, you're the one, blah, 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 blah. So I came back. I had gotten my orders in, like, 2014, like, late 2014. And I came back before I graduated my MOS school on leave because it was, like, Christmas time and all that. Came back late December, and I proposed to her on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, one of those. Don't get me lying. If she watches this, she'd be upset. But one of those, she said yes. We got married.
Nighttime or daytime?
It was nighttime.
Oh, well, see, that's fine. You're fine there because it's hard to tell which is night.
Yeah,
which day is which at that point.
So it was late December. Yeah, it was late December. She said yes or whatever. I'd bought her a ring and all that stuff. And we got married. So my where I was at, 29 Palms, California, is like 3-hour drive from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah.
Getting married in Las Vegas, paperwork is like nothing. You can do paperwork in a week.
So is this your first time in Vegas?
Yeah, it was my first time in Vegas. So I talked to her. I was like, so if we're gonna do this, like, and you're gonna be able to come with me, or we're gonna be able to work this out. We need to get married sooner rather than later. And she's like, okay. We talked about Vegas. Her family was like down with it. I'm super tight with her family.
Her family's great.
Yeah, I love those people. Genuinely good people. So we decided we're going to get married in Vegas. We're going to try to do it on Valentine's Day.
Just try to make it a little more romantic.
Yeah, romantic and all that stuff because it was rushed.
No, hey, don't lie. You were trying to consolidate 2 dates down to 1 day.
Get out of that.
I'm kidding, man, but
But it does now,
It does work that way.
We were talking to like ministers and stuff like that. We planned it all out. It worked out. My family wasn't able to come. Her family was able to meet us in Vegas. Her parents. Her step parents and her like real parents or whatever.
So who is that, by the way? Run me by it.
So
Jay,
and
Chris, okay,
yeah,
and then
Tammy.
Okay, Kirby, I got you.
Okay, sorry.
I don't want to say their names in case they don't like us saying it. I was trying to consolidate it down, but okay. I was just making sure I got the full family correct.
Those people.
I knew Jay and
And then a family friend came with them, and she's great. I love her too. She's part of my life, part of my family, basically.
Okay.
Man, they did a lot for us. They helped. They paid for our like hotel room while we were down. They did a lot for us. So we got married in Vegas, and we're going to try to get married on the 14th because we had everything planned. Ministers lined up, but everywhere on the 14th was booked. The ministers weren't able to do it.
Obviously, a lot of people had the same idea.
Yeah, and it worked out because in the Marine Corps, you get President's Day. It's a long weekend on President's Day, and it, like I said, it worked out like perfectly for whatever reason. So President's Day, we ended up getting married on February 15th.
Okay, so the day after Valentine's.
Yeah, the day after Valentine's Day, and it was great, man. We got married, and her parents were there and all that. Like the whole ceremony, and we got married by the Bellagio. It was a great time. Got married. We got to spend the rest of the evening in Vegas together. We were, like I said, 19 years old. So we couldn't drink.
Little young lovebird. Yeah. No, I get that.
I had a little money in my pocket, because I was living in the barracks, eating at the chow hall, so I saved
saving a little bit on that. Yeah.
Got married, and after that, she had to go back to Texas. She's still in college. I had to go back to base after that.
So you said 2 months later was when you found out. 2 months into your marriage, so I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Marriage night. Yeah, I'm guessing.
Well, no, it wasn't even marriage night. So I'll get.
Well, of course, that's an intimate situation. I'm not.
No. You're not.
I'm just trying to put the timeline together. So.
And watch. Well, I'll find something out. I'm just kidding. But so we got married in February. She went back to Texas. I went back to base, and I had orders to Okinawa at that time. That point. Yeah, and I was like, oh man, I'm not gonna be able to drag her. One of my staff sergeants in, like, we called the schoolhouse, was like, hey, if any of y'all are willing to trade orders with him, like, so he can stay continental, he can drag his wife over there, so his marriage would work. Because the Marine Corps has a strong history of people getting married and getting divorced.
Oh, yeah. It's like, so they were pushing for success for you in your marriage.
100%.
Which is amazing in that fact.
And there's a certain staff sergeant, I don't know if I want to, like, say his name.
I wouldn't, just to...
He's a big reason why everything worked out, because he's the one that said he didn't have to. He pushed for it. And one of my buddies was like, hey, I'll trade orders with you if you buy my TV for me. And he was like, I was like, how much you want for your TV? He's like, $60. And not $60, and he traded.
Yeah, that's a deal.
Worth a freaking life.
When you said TV, I was thinking like a $700 TV. No,
$60, bro.
Man.
Yeah. So we.
So you never went to Japan?
No. So I didn't end up having.
Do you regret not going to Japan?
I do. There's a part of me that does, and my wife and I have talked about this. So that's
because you just wanted to go. Yeah.
Yeah. Experience it, man. Like. It's a whole different world. You get to leave the United States.
Oh, I get that. Yeah. I've never left the continent. Like, one thing that I still regret was, like, our senior year. I never got to go on that cruise.
Oh, that cruise was great.
Dude, I wish I could have gone on that cruise. I hated that I didn't. I just still remember Mr. August, and I love this man to death. He's like, you've missed 60 days of school.
Yeah.
If you go on that cruise, you're missing, like, another 4 days. You ain't going to graduate.
Yeah.
And, I still wish I would have took the risk and went on the cruise.
Yeah.
And then not graduate, because I was trying not to graduate.
Yeah.
I was trying not to graduate so fucking hard because I didn't play football my freshman year.
Yes.
So I had one more year I could play.
Yeah, you were eligible.
I tried to fail.
Yeah.
Wink was like, nah, get the fuck out of here.
You're gone, Mr. Glass.
No, it was my uncle. He pushed for it hard with that superintendent without my knowledge. Yeah. That new superintendent we got, the one that came from the 5A school. He pretty much sat down with that dude and talked the whole situation out here. He lost his dad. This happened. That's why his studies are behind this.
Yeah.
They pushed me through.
Yeah. Which is probably a good thing in the long run, or what do you think?
I don't know. I feel like, honestly, if I would have went to high school one more year, I think that would have been enough to iron out some of my difficulties.
Yeah.
And I think I would have achieved my dream.
Yeah.
Which no.
You'll never know.
Yeah, you'll never know. You never know. I could have ended up way worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what I feel.
Buying crack from you, Jeremy Glass.
Yeah. I could be the guy hitting up on the weekend at 3 a.m. Hey, you got some of the stuff?
I'm locking my car door whenever you're walking by.
Yeah, life ends up the way it's supposed to be, in my opinion. That's why I believe there is a higher power, because I believe your life ends up the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because who knows what your life would have been if one situation changed.
You never know.
Dang, but no. Going back to that, I want to know generally. You were talking about 2 months in. You were talking about your kids. How did that really change your mindset?
So again, I'm super long-winded about things. I go around the wagon.
Dude, I got an extra battery there. If we go over the time on that battery, I can toss another battery in that bitch, man.
Man, I'm having a great time. But yeah, we got married. My buddy changed orders with me. He was going to North Carolina. switched. Now he's going to Okinawa, Japan, which I think for a single Marine is a great experience. And I haven't talked to him.
Oh, yeah, I could definitely see for a single Marine. For married, I can see where it's more difficult, especially if you go without her.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, and I'm not saying anything about your kid, but goddamn, temptation.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. It's a real thing that people, I feel like it's honestly just as a sensitive topic as other things. Mm-hmm. Because if you say the wrong thing, your wife or girlfriend can get mad at you. I don't know how Mariah is.
Oh, she's great. She's a great
woman. Yeah, I figured. Yeah. And that was one thing I wanted to come back to, too, but after this. Yeah, no, temptation, man, it's a real thing. I've never cheated. Yeah. I've been cheated on. Yeah. And I think cheating is one of the most cardinal sins of a relationship. Not even one of the most. I think it's the most. Once that's gone, the trust is gone, the relationship will never be the same, it won't work. Yeah, yeah. And other people have other mindsets. Some people, they love somebody so much, they'll make it work. Yeah. That's not me. Yeah.
That's a hard thing, man. It's a hard thing.
It really is. I respect the people that do it. Yeah. Another thing is like stepkids, man. I could never put my mindset into I'm going to raise this other person's kid. Yeah. I can never do it.
No. I think now, knowing what I do know, it's like, a kid's a kid, they're innocent. And
oh yeah, they have no say in it. They're the innocent as it comes, and what you do shapes them, whether you're the father figure or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether if you're a small part of their life. Yeah. One guy I said earlier we'd come back to was one of my dad's best friends, Sean Stout, and I will say his name 100 times. I can care less because I love this motherfucker to death. Yeah. After my dad passed, he was one of the first people I moved in with. I think maybe the first. Yeah. And no, it was my grandma first, then him immediately. Like, it was a short period transition. This dude, I feel bad for it because I was a shit teenager.
Oh, yeah.
You remember his house. You came over there. It was you, me, and Aaron Holtman. Y'all came over. Yeah. I cooked steaks. We had some beers and stuff. We drank that shitty Yellowtail wine. Yeah. At the time, we fucking hated it. Oh, it was so bad. And some Jack Daniels, regular Jack. Oh, it was so bad. I remember that. His house. That man, without him, my life would never be shaped the same way.
That's awesome, man. It's awesome you have somebody like that.
Man, and that's the thing. It's like we don't even talk anymore, and I hate it because he lives in Ohio, so it's hard, Yeah. That man there. Even when my dad was still alive, I had shit stepmothers, and that was one thing. Did you ever grow up with abuse as a kid?
Not physical.
Not physical. Mentally from your mom?
Not from my mom.
No stepdads?
No. So,
boyfriends of hers?
So my mom, when I think I hit like 7th grade, 8th grade, like in that transition, my mom realized that me and my brother were old enough, and more so my older brother was old enough to take care of the rest of the kids.
Oh, okay, okay.
So like my youngest brother right now, I think he's like 18 or 19, so he's like 6 or 7 years.
That's not Noah.
No, that's not Noah.
Y'all had a younger
His name's Elijah. Yeah.
Okay. I never met him. I've met Noah and I met the older.
Yeah. And then I have a sister, and then I have like
I forgot about your sister.
Yeah. And I have another half brother.
So you had 4 siblings. There wasn't 4 of y'all, it was 5 of y'all.
There's 5 of us, yeah. There's God, 5 of us, yeah.
That's crazy.
And then I have, my dad had 2 other kids in New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Which, great people. I love those. I love all my siblings.
Do you have contact with your dad now?
I do. And mine and my
relationship?
Dad, it's getting better. He's learned throughout the years, like, life is
Do you fault him for not being there? No. Or is it just like...
No, not at all.
That's what life dealt. That's the way it turned out. Okay. That's a real good mindset. Like that's how I am with my mom. Yeah. Nowadays, before, I couldn't stand her.
Yeah, there were highs and lows where it was like, man, that dude's a dickhead. Like he couldn't stand up and be a man. And there's like also parts where it's like, he's a fucking human. Like,
that's how I am with my mom. There's days I'm like, no, I couldn't stand her. There's no excuse for it. But at the same time, I'm like, man, there really is an excuse for it. I understand it, as I get older. But going back, what was I saying?
You're talking about Sean.
Sean, and then I went to you, though, after Sean.
Oh, you were talking about abuse.
Abuse, yeah. That's what. So was there, like, any boyfriends or anything, like, in there that mentally, because you said no physically.
Yeah, there was never any, like, true physical abuse. I did get spanked and all that
stuff. Wait, that's not a fucking abuse. Anybody out there that thinks that's fucking abuse, that's not abuse. That's discipline. As long as it's the ass. Yeah. Belt, it don't matter if it's a belt or hand or paddle. That's fucking discipline. Yeah. Kids need that.
And every time I got it, I deserved it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Same here. I agree. Same here. I mean, I almost fucking burnt down a house once, and the most I got was like 5 swats.
I never almost burnt down a house, but I did some stupid shit.
Yeah. Well, it caused a divorce.
Yeah.
Well, not divorce. It caused a breakup too.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, it was bad.
Yeah.
You know, I deserved every bit of it. But yeah, no. Going on. So there was no physical.
No physical abuse. So 7th, 8th grade year. My mom realized that my brother, really more so my brother, because he was a lot more in tune with what was going on in life, could take care of me and my younger siblings.
Keep talking. I'm gonna piss, but I can hear you all the way out. Keep talking.
So she realized he could take care of us, and she started going out and kind of partying and was out every week. It started off like once a weekend. She'd go out and hang out with her friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was okay, my brother was all right, I'll watch the kids or whatever. And then it turned into okay, all weekend she's partying. She'll be back in the morning until the afternoon, and then when the evening comes, she's gone again. And then it turned into she's going out on the weekdays, and she was going out all the time and leaving us home alone, which we were sort of used to. So, but my brother, again, being in tune with everything, would be pissed off. He's like, "You're supposed to be our mom. You're supposed to be here." Blah 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 blah. Getting pissed about it.
Did you feel that way?
I didn't, because I was too naive.
Okay.
It wasn't.
Do you feel that way now?
I do.
You really do? Really?
Yeah. I look back on it now. I understand where she's coming from. She
needed a release.
She had my brother when she was 16, and then she had me when she was 17.
Really
so she had us super young, and then she had a long.
She went straight into it. You know, she never had her living experience
at all. Never. So and at that time, it was I didn't really understand it, but I was like, "Where's mom at?" She's never there.
Even though you felt that way now, do you still? Are y'all still close?
So we were close for a very long time, and we had a falling out here in in November.
And, so recently.
Yeah, recently. Okay. So there was a big thing.
You still contact at least?
Not right now.
Really?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No. Well, I appreciate it.
Well, it's like me. I haven't talked to my mom since December, and I talk. Well, it's not bad. I just tell her "Oh, I'm gonna be around," and then I get busy and I don't go by her house.
And it's not like that right now with us. So again, I was naive, and I really kind of had my head in the clouds with what was going on, but my brother knew exactly. And she was kind of bringing dudes home here and there, and my brother wasn't cool with it. My brother was
no, I can get that.
Yeah, we got a bunch of kids in the house, and you're doing that. That's not cool. And then they would drink and stuff.
See, I never really had that. I'm not trying to get into. We'll come right back to you.
You're good.
My dad, being a single dad. Man, I don't know if he rented hotels. I don't know what the fuck if he did at other people's houses or maybe their house. Maybe he just went to her house. I guess. But man, there was a lot of abuse, physical abuse for me.
That's
growing up. One of his girlfriends and my dad. Unfortunately, for my dad. Well, not Pat. I'm talking before.
I was thinking Pat.
No, Pat was bad. Pat was the worst. We'll get to hers. My dad didn't know, being naive. He was just oh damn, a girl in love, whatever. A single guy, fucking, you know how guys are when it comes to that.
Oh, yeah.
But one, she would pull my hair because I botched piano lessons with her. My homework I wasn't getting done. I'm talking in a chair, a piano stool, right? Yeah. Or in a chair.
That's all you're bald.
No. No, I can blame it on that now. That's a good excuse. I can blame it on that now. But no, she would boom to the floor.
Yeah.
And then that was the first one. Not the first girlfriend, but the first one that started all that. Mm-hmm. Pat, she was fucking horrible. I'm talking, she would do stuff she had those long fucking nails, scratch the inside of my ears so no one could see it. But she was friends with the sheriff's daughter, so the sheriff would just tell CPS whenever they would get called, no, there ain't nothing going on here. He's just a fucking hormone teenager.
Yeah.
And it was bad. God, it was bad. And I to this day, as civil as I am with her, when I see her, I haven't seen her in fucking 6 years now, 7 years now. I fucking hate that bitch.
Oh, I imagine.
I can't stand that bitch. From the way she treated me and from the way she treated her son, Kevin, who was disabled. He had MS.
Yeah.
And there ain't no fault. I was a fucking dick to Kevin growing up. I was a fucking, teenager getting bullied at school. Then I turn around and be a dick to him. And I feel horrible for it.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
And if by some chance, because Kevin, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. Like, I feel like a fucking dick. I was an asshole as a fucking little brother to you. But,
I remember you telling me about Kevin back in the day. Pat,
dude, it pissed me off the way she would treat him. But yeah, no, physical abuse, man, like, it's fucking crazy. Like, it blows my mind. Like, I could never, like, I'm one of those, like, if I ever did date a girl that had a kid, I'm not dating her. Just her. Yeah. Like, that kid's in a package, and I know that in my mind.
Absolutely.
And I can dedicate myself to that if it ever happened. It just, I've never let it happen. I don't see it happening because I don't feel like I'm man enough for that.
For sure.
But yeah, no, like, abuse is something that just pisses me off beyond all belief. And that comes back to Sean. It was funny. Pat, she had these stupid fucking rules. Even during the summer, 3 hours of music, 3 hours of TV, 3 hours of video game combined. So summer, 3 hours of my day in summer, I could only use my electronics. And I would get grounded for something. And Sean, he was working oil field, single guy working oil field, 30 years plus, making
money,
no, he wasn't making. He was making good money. He was like flow back for like weeks at a time. Yeah. He would come back, and I remember one time I got grounded from my TV, and she took my TV. He showed up with a 48-inch TV. Here, you can have this. I don't need this one anymore. I'm buying another one. And it pissed her off.
Yeah.
She'd show up. She'd ground me. He'd show up. Hey, there's a concert. I'm picking Jeremy up, and tell my dad, and then not tell her. Just show up, pick me up, and then we go to a fucking concert. Some of my best times ever.
Yeah.
My first concert was with him.
Yeah.
And, oh my God, it would fucking piss her off that I was having a good time. I never understood that.
Yeah.
Like, as a person, you want kids to have a good life.
That's probably because she had unresolved stuff in her life, and she had...
It's probably deep-rooted, and it's probably something like, if you heard her story, you could understand it.
She's probably abused, too, herself.
But still, there's no excuse for me. Like, being abused, like, I could never put somebody else through that.
100%.
But, like, I can never see being like, oh, I was abused, so I'm going to do that to somebody else.
Oh, 100%.
I say that, and then at the same time, I was bullied, so I'm going to bully this person. And I did that in high school. I was bad about it in high school.
Oh, me too. Me too. Absolutely.
I still remember fucking... One of the days I felt like I was a complete dick in high school, before my dad passed, was Cameron. You remember Cameron? And I can't say nothing. He was the weird kid in school, just like I was.
Oh.
He was a little bit more. He was he was full on weeb.
Yeah.
He was a full on anime nerd, and I wasn't that yet. I am now. I'm a full anime nerd now. But at the time, I didn't understand it.
He was next level. He had no social ability at all.
I get that. And I was addicted. I remember one time I took his fucking bike and threw it across a fucking yard over next to Kay's Kitchen. And looking at that now, like, I feel so bad because the year after that was after my dad passed. And after that, my whole life... No, was it before my dad passed? It may have been after, it may have been before. I can't remember. I got super religious there for a while. I know that was before my dad passed. And I would stand up for anybody. Donovan Garcia. Remember how short he was and small he was in high school compared to his age group?
Yeah.
I remember standing up for him because they took his hat. No, it wasn't Donovan. It was Seth Dodd. They took his hat. No, it wasn't Donovan. I got to think. Give me a second.
You think about it? I got to piss.
All right. God dang. Do you want to try any of this stuff that you see?
Hey, I'm down for whatever.
Have you ever tried that Crown Noble collection?
I've never tried anything you got over here.
Well, we'll try it.
I might have, but
well, it's an $80 bottle, so it's a little bit higher.
Hey.
And I gotta check the camera battery and all this shit too. Battery's good. Mic batteries. Let me check those. These mics are supposed to last for 6 hours, but it's hard trusting that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Especially this being the first podcast ever. Oh, man.
I'm having a great time, Jeremy Glass.
Man, I'm really enjoying this. When I looked at the clock earlier and I seen we were at a hour, like 20 minutes, I was like, God dang, we've already hit the mark and we're still going.
Man, I feel like you and I can sit here and bullshit a little bit, and it makes it easy.
I feel like our conversation and hangout is long overdue.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I honestly do, because I've never had ill will towards you.
Oh, me either.
And I've always wanted to just sit down and have a conversation with you, and it's hard when we go to, like, gatherings and stuff, because everybody's talking. Everybody wants to have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I bought this shit the other day from the liquor store here.
Yeah, no, I saw the review.
Oh, really?
I watch your videos, Jeremy Glass. I'm telling you.
Well, see, and you said that. I still remember your daughter at the
at the Family Dollar
store.
yeah.
That's a man on the TV.
Yeah, that's a TV man. She's like, you know that guy? I was like, yeah, I went to school with him. She's amazed.
Oh
like,
yeah, you know, being a young kid, just seeing somebody on the TV,
Yeah.
anybody on the TV, it don't matter if they're famous or not.
All right.
I appreciate it, man. This whole conversation's been great.
Man, it's
so
great.
far.
I appreciate you.
Oh man, I don't know if you're a Crown fan. Real smooth, but a real weedy taste.
It is very weedy.
Well, it's winter wheat, so I mean, it's
It lingers on the tongue a lot. Like
yeah, I'm still tasting it, like
yeah.
even talking to this point. But very smooth though.
Yeah, no, it goes down easy.
Oh,
like
yeah.
super easy.
I'm not a big shot guy when it comes to whiskey. When it comes when it comes to Di Serono, I'll do shots on that with
Oh,
that
me
shit.
too.
Sweet shit.
Me too.
I love sweet. But yeah, no abuse.
Oh, you were talking about Sean. He bought you a TV that one time, and
that shit was so important in my life because
that's smooth as fuck, Jeremy Glass.
man, and I'm gonna tell you a story. I think I've told you this before, and you've told me like everybody feels this way. I'm pretty sure it was you. Man, this is hard to tell. And I'm going to tell this because I want to get more stories out of you. I'm loving this conversation.
I'm having a great time.
This is real personal and real deep. And these are the
Sure.
conversations I wanted on these.
Yeah. I ain't got nothing to hide, brother.
After my dad got in his wreck, he lived for a whole week. And it got to a point, you know, like at the time I was being abused constantly by Pat. And I'm not trying to make any excuses. It was, I feel shit to this day about it. I prayed that my dad would just go ahead and pass.
Yeah.
After being in a coma for a week, head bashed in from a motorcycle accident.
Just suffering at that point.
Him suffering, and on top of this, I'm thinking like, because the conversation had already been had that I might move him with Sean. I'm thinking I'm going to get a better life,
Yeah.
you know, than what I have.
It's natural, bro. Super natural.
Man, I still, natural or not, I feel so bad about it.
Yeah.
To this day, I will always feel bad about it. But yeah, no, Sean, he was the type of guy in my life. If it wasn't for him, I feel I would have gone down the wrong path. And if you're watching this, Sean, I still fucking miss talking to you because we barely ever talk anymore. But yeah, no, I feel if it was not for Sean, and he, like I said, he didn't have kids at this point, and I hope him help raising me at that late teenage point prepares him for when his kids turn into teen, because he's got to compare kids now. I hope it prepares him for that because I was a shit teenager. But yeah,
He's
no,
like, man, this is easy now. His kids are teenagers.
If it was, well, he's got a daughter, so I don't know.
Oh man,
He's got a daughter, he's got a daughter and a boy.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for him, I can almost guarantee I would have went down the wrong path. He was besides my dad, he was the best person in my life.
Yeah.
You know, my grandma aside, I love my grandma to death, and she's been great. Don't get me wrong, 'cause she helped raise me as a young
different.
kid.
It's
It's a different mindset.
Yeah.
She was my grandmother. But as far as Sean, he was the second father to me after my dad passed.
It's like
and
cool
he wasn't
uncle,
even family.
Yeah, it's cool uncle versus like guardian. Like she's
Yeah.
there to make sure everything happens right. He's there
100%.
to make sure your needs are met and make sure like you.
And he was there for that until I.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. This loose lead comes, and this is a conversation to him because I know he's gonna watch this shit. I felt like I was just being an unruly teenager, and I felt like he just didn't know how to react to that. So he was like, "Hey, you gotta go."
Yeah,
You
he
know.
did, yeah, and that's fair.
Good, never having kids.
That's
Oh,
fair.
it's 100% fair. I
Yeah.
literally stole his truck while he was at work to go get laid.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
100%.
a town over.
Yeah.
And the thing was, his mindset. You know, the neighbors called like, "Hey, your truck's missing,"
Yeah,
and he was like, "I'm at work, so the truck can't be missing." So he thought someone stole it.
yeah,
After he reported it to the cops, he called me. He's like, "Where you at?"
yeah.
I took,
In your truck.
I was like, "I took the truck to Monahan's over here to my girlfriend's." He's like, "Well,
That girl, the one that lived in the 2-story.
yes."
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking.
And he was like, "Well, I've already called the cops, so I'm not going to call them and replace this. Just so you know, this is your consequences. You better get your ass home before they catch you."
Yeah.
And I'm talking, I was like 110 from Monahan's all the way back.
Was
to
it that white Chevy?
No, it was the no. That white Chevy was when I lived with them.
Okay.
This was the Toyota when the Nissan, no, not Nissan, not Toyota, the Nissan Titans. It was when the Titans were still popular.
Yeah.
It was just like what Waylon used to have. Those.
I know exactly.
And I was 110 all the way back from Mount Hanson.
Yeah.
And there was a grass fire out on the side of the road. The sheriffs were already there. I went 110 past them.
Yeah.
No flash. They were all outside the vehicles. Their mindset, all I can see is they're like, we got to get up to speed. We got to hope he wants to stop.
But you think that's where, like, maybe there's a big guy looking after you because you're like...
Yeah, I could have gotten trouble. Well, two, then being that young, it probably would have been like, you know, like, hey, you fucked up. Here's a ticket. You know, and, you know, some reprieve. Like, I got that with my...
They're not going to crucify you.
Oh, yeah. No, they a small town. They ain't going to crucify a young kid.
Yeah.
Speaking of that brings me to another story, man.
Yeah.
You remember when I got arrested in high school?
Maybe. You gotta walk me through it, because
you won't remember the arrest. You will remember the moment Waylon says this.
Fucking Waylon.
Oh, I love Waylon. Yeah. He's one I'm gonna do everything I can to get him on the show.
Yeah. Let me say something about Waylon real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
And then you can.
Yeah, no. Go.
Waylon and I So I remember when he came to Wink in first grade.
See, I wasn't even knew any of y'all. I knew Dominique at that point. That was it.
So me and another like girl in our class like were super tight. And I remember him like saying, I'm Waylon Lorta, like standing in front of the class, like I'm from Early, Texas, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, looking at him, I was like, we should be friends with that dude.
Really?
And literally,
see, I thought you were going the opposite. I thought you were sitting there like, fuck that guy.
No. And literally on the playground that day, being like, hey, I'm Isaac. And he was like, I'm Waylon. And since then, that was it, man. Me and him had been friends for forever. I was the best man at his wedding. Like,
I hate that I missed his wedding.
Oh,
I think I was still in West Virginia at the time.
That's my homie, man. I love that dude.
But yeah, no.
Anyway,
him. This is still something I remember from high school from him. It was during our senior year sports banquet. Mm-hmm. Remember, I moved to JAL and then moved back. Yeah. So UIO wouldn't let me play varsity. Yeah. And then I was like, well, fuck it, you know, cause Coach Jones and then we're going to put in a thing for my track and my tennis to get me on varsity. Yeah. To appeal to the UIL. Yeah. Explain the situation that my dad passed. I was just bumping from house to house. But I remember my senior year, I was like, well, fuck it. If I can't play anything varsity my first half of the year, I'll play fucking JV basketball. I can grab the rim. I don't know shit about basketball, but I'll play it. To this day, and I don't fault this guy for it, I'll even mention his name, Jesse Jones, Coach Jones. The first game, he didn't put me in. I was like, he's testing me, see if I'm going to stay. Second game, didn't put me in. He's testing me. Yeah. Third game, I'm already dressing up, putting on my shoes, about to get ready to go on the bus and head out. He has Coach Sanchez come tell me, hey, we don't have enough spots for you to go today, so we just can't take you with us. That point, I took my shoes off. I shoved them into Coach Sanchez's gut. I'm like, tell Coach Jones he just lost his star track runner. Yeah. Because I was good at the 400 that time. I wasn't a star, don't get me wrong. I wasn't fucking no super athlete. But I was his top 400 runner and his top, fucking long jump besides Dominique and somebody else that beat me out. And I just told him, I was like, tell him he lost his track star. Yeah. Whatever else. I didn't. After that, they didn't put in the appeal for me. Yeah. So I had to play JV, whatever else. Moving on.
I remember manhandling people on the football field when you were in JV.
Oh, dude, that shit was fucking hilarious. We'll come back to that in a minute. But I remember that, and I don't fault him for that. I still have him on Facebook. I like all his posts. I like Jones, Coach Jones. I respect everything he does, except for that he's more about the win than he is the kids. At least he was at the time. Yeah. I don't know if his mindset's changed or not, but at the time he was, in my mind. Yeah. But going on, the sports banquet comes up, and I'm like, I fucking played JV all year. I don't give a fuck about the sports banquet. Now I'm not fucking going. Fuck that shit. Yeah. I'm pissed off. I go back to Kermit. I drink like fucking a 3/4 bottle of whiskey.
Oh, you're walking back to
You remember where this is going? I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to the sports banquet, drunk as fuck. Everybody else is in button-up shirts. I'm going in fucking tank top and shorts. Yeah. Nobody would give me a ride. I couldn't find nobody in Kermit to give me a ride over there. My aunt and uncle, they're like, we're not fucking taking you up there. Yeah. And nothing I'm faulting there. Yeah. I say aunt and uncle. They're not really my aunt and uncle. They're like that to me. But I'm like, I'm going. Fuck it. Yeah. So when they're not paying attention, I start walking. Yeah. I make it to the Boy Scout Park in Kermit. Roll my fucking ankle stepping off a curb.
Oh, yep.
Sitting in the middle of the Boy Scout Park. I'm fucking yelling. Pass out. Yeah. EMS shows up. He's like, no, we got to report somebody yelling out here in the parking lot hurt. I'm like, no, I'm just enjoying the sky. I fucking played them off. No, I'm just watching the fucking the sky, the clouds,
Drunk as
just
fuck.
enjoying my day. Drunk as fuck. They leave.
Yeah.
Drunk as fuck high school. They fucking leave.
Yeah.
Which EMS, it's not their fucking part to arrest anybody, so no fault on them.
Yeah.
So now I'm stumbling, limping, hitchhiking to Wink.
Yeah.
I stop at Torta's. Like, I need a glass of water. I need to sober up a little bit before I get to Wink for the sports banquet. I get Torta. All they sell is like the fucking Topo Chico glass.
Yeah, Topo Chico, yeah.
The fucking glass, like sparkling water.
Mineral water. Yeah.
Mineral water.
Yeah.
So now I'm walking down the street with a glass bottle in my hand, limping, trying to hitchhike to fucking Wink. A cop pulls up behind me, and I still want to go get my mug shot from this. That cop pulls up behind me. How much you had to drink? I'm already putting the bottle on the ground, putting my hands behind me. Too fucking much.
Yeah.
Drunker than shit, man. Oh, shit. Drunker than fucking all get out, right?
Yeah.
And they arrest me. Obviously, they give me a PI. And I still fucking remember Waylon.
You were 18 at that time?
I was 18 at the time.
So then
I was fucked.
they can haul you in, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was. Well, luckily, we had George Keeley as the sheriff at the time. He was still the head sheriff.
Yeah.
They booked me. They didn't book me long. They would just like toss them in a fucking one
tank.
of the. No, they didn't even toss me in a drunk. They tossed me in like one of the padded cells.
Yeah.
Because I was fucking terrible. I was like throwing myself against the fucking walls and shit.
Yeah, unruly teenager.
Unruly teenager, emotional. I remember, like, I want to go get my fucking my mug shot from there because I know I was bawling my eyes out when they took me in the night. I
imagine.
I want to put that on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they took me in. I still remember fucking Waylon. We're watching our senior slideshow.
Yeah.
And all the fucking sports betting picture comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Waylon, hey, remember at this point, Jeremy Glass is getting arrested. Laugh my ass. Waylon, I love that motherfucker to death, man. You know I lived with him for 6 months, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived with Waylon for a little bit too.
You did too?
Yeah, I did.
What grade?
It was my senior year. It was the
senior
summer.
year?
It was the summer though.
Oh, you were the summer. I was during the year.
Man,
Our
his
senior year.
parents. I love his parents.
Dude, his
Stacey
parents
and Martin.
Those,
I'm sorry if they
No, I don't think they care because it's nothing but nice talk. Those are two of the best people I've ever met in my life.
great people.
They showed passion for me. Mm-hmm. They showed caringness for me. They showed caringness for my grandmother.
Yeah.
They all around
Great people. Yeah.
Honestly, some of the best people I've ever known
Yeah,
in my life.
100%.
And living with Waylon, oh, that was experience. Tristan was hilarious.
Tristan.
Steven was there for a little bit at the time.
I love Steven too.
He had already graduated, but he was there for a little bit. Oh, Steven was hilarious. Tristan was fucking Tristan.
That dude's next level, bro.
That's somebody I'm going to have to hit up and get on here and talk about.
That dude's next
man,
level.
Oh, man. He was hilarious. Waylon, though, we weren't really close during that. We were close. But, you know, he was doing his own thing while I was doing my own thing. I was a big gamer at the time. All I did was play fucking video games.
Yeah.
And, God, though, man. That family, best family I've known in a long time.
Great people.
Love them guys.
Yeah.
I got to piss again.
Go squeeze the lemon, brother.
Oh, think of anything you want to talk about. Stories or anything, man.
Did you squeeze out a fart?
A little bit there. Yeah. One question I wanted to ask you too.
What's up?
Being in the Marines is.
No,
that's you.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. Was there anybody you connected with, like super heavy of the Marines, that you still talk to today?
Yeah, I've got a lot of buddies that I still talk to this day, and like this.
And these are people you haven't seen in years, right?
Yeah, these are people that I've not seen in years. These, like, the correspondence, like, with them, and I'm a little drunk right now, so
I'm fucking drunk. I'm
excuse
getting
me
there,
a little
man.
bit with it. It is a little bit few and far between, but there was a couple that like my wife and I were super close with, the Whitmans, and I talked to them here and there. There was a buddy of mine that's from Alabama. His name is Matt Mims. I talked to here and there. Another buddy, Kovi Harada, super good dude. I don't talk to him as much. He's kind of doing his own thing.
But if you saw him today, it would be no difference. Best friends. Still,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Okay.
Good dudes. You meet a lot of good people. There's probably a dozen people I could mention right now that I would say like super good dudes that I would love to see right now and hang out with.
Yeah.
Zach Babin, love that dude too.
So you're gonna have to hit them up and tell them.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. They're great dudes. I miss them. The culture that we had before I got out, like when we were in the heat of things, it was like every weekend they would come over to either my house, we'd go to their house, we'd like whoever's, and we'd just go drink some beers and just have a good time.
So not to interrupt you though, but like when you say in the heat of things, did you actually see combat?
I did not see combat. No,
So
I'm not a combat veteran.
Well, when you say in the heat of things, what do you mean? Do you mean like the boot camp and the trainings and all that, or
no, not even that, man. So like so the way it goes is you join the Marine Corps, you go to boot camp.
Yeah.
And from boot camp, you go to combat training. And from combat training, you go to MOS school.
Okay.
And after MOS school, you go to your duty station. And that's where you're going to be at for at least 3 years, at least.
Oh, okay.
If you're outside the continental United States, it's 2 years. But if you're in the continental United States, you're going to be there for 3.
So did you serve your 4? And that was it?
I served 5 years.
So you served 5, okay.
Yeah, and that was because my MOS school was so long. So they tacked on another year because my MOS school was a year long.
Okay.
It took a little longer.
But Jim, like I said, whenever I said in the heat of thing, I didn't mean to downplay anything.
No,
like
not
100%. Like if y'all were in the shit of it or whether you weren't, y'all are vets. I mean, that's my utmost respect to y'all guys.
No, and thank you. I appreciate that. But when I say in the heat of things, it's like when we were at our duty station and we were at like working like from 5 o'clock in the morning until freaking.
I want to turn this fan off. It's getting a little chilly for me.
Yeah, turn it off, man. But we'd work from 5 o'clock in the morning. We'd wake up, go PT or whatever, and then we'd work till a minimum 5 o'clock at night, like in the evening. And more often than not, we were there like late. We were working late all the time.
So y'all were just together. When you say the heat of things, you mean like y'all were there from these long hours with each other doing your job.
Yeah. And so I'll say like the op tempo. So the op tempo, the operational tempo of the operational like movement of our unit was high.
Yeah.
Like, there was always shit fucking going on. Like, so there was always a field operation going on. There was always an exercise going on. We were the only, one of the only 2 ground units on the air station that we are on. So we were providing communication for almost all the units on the air station.
Okay.
So they always needed us for
you were
something.
very needed in that.
Yeah. So it was.
So it was the heat of things.
So the heat
really was the heat of things.
So if you're not on a field op, you're at the shop making sure like equipment's ready to go out on field ops or field exercises. Formula One, Jeremy Glass. So that when I say the heat of things, it's high stress. Like there was a lot of stuff going on.
I don't know honestly which one was it.
No, it don't matter to me. Okay. You won't hurt my feelings at all.
But no, continue.
Yeah. So when I say the heat of things, it was like when it was always high stress. Like we always like. We always had something going on. We were always making sure everything was ready for something coming up.
Yeah.
So in those situations, like throughout the weeks, the months, the years, whatever it might be, we were like together, like on the, like weekends we'd get together and have some beers to cut some stress, man.
Yeah, so it wasn't just the weekends. It was y'all were together at work during the week. During the weekends, y'all were cutting stress
Man, it was
together.
a family.
It was a family.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's no other
like,
way to put it besides that, man.
You woke up in the morning
With these guys.
Yeah,
you went to bed with these guys.
Yeah.
And then you went to relieve stress with these guys.
Yeah, 100%. So, like...
Man, that's an incredible thing. It really is.
And like you said, the camaraderie with, like, Robert earlier, like... It was the same thing.
Yeah. See, and I actually want to come back to that subject. Man, I want to come back to that subject, and I don't at the same time. Those are the hardest conversations. This, and I don't mean this in a bad way. This is just how we talk about it. This motherfucker will not answer my phone calls. He will not answer my text. He will not answer nothing. And I know exactly why he won't answer. I'll fucking tell it why. His niece, you know Desiree.
Yeah, I know that whole situation.
You know the whole situation. So you've heard it from somebody else already.
Well, I watched your videos. And I knew...
Did I talk about this in the video?
You didn't say specific names, but I knew because we live in a small fucking town.
It's easy to put the parts together. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't remember talking about it.
And you might have even like name dropped.
I probably did.
And so I know the strain that it puts on you and Robert and Gerg.
Here's the thing with it, man. Like, I love these guys to death. And I didn't mean no disrespect by it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, if I had a niece that was going down the wrong path and they started dating one of these motherfuckers, I would be so fucking happy because I know they're going to do them right.
Yeah.
And just from the pure fact that, like, Greg will respond to my text still. Greg doesn't have an issue with it. But at the same time...
Great dude.
Oh, Greg is one... I used to live with Greg, too, for a while. You remember that. The thing with Greg is, like, he is so loyal to everybody. It's hard to talk to him about certain things because I asked Greg for Robert's number. I was like, hey, does Robert have a current number? He didn't even respond to it.
Yeah.
Because he's loyal to Robert.
Yeah.
But he's loyal to me at the same time, so he's not meaning any disrespect to me. Because he'll still
respond. That's his brother.
So it's his brother.
He got a little bit more pull.
Yeah. He'll still respond to my other messages. He just won't respond to that one.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing it's just somewhere in the Robert said, like, I don't want to talk to that motherfucker because of that situation. Which I think is dumb in my opinion. In my opinion, I can see where they're coming from, but at the same time, like I said, if I had a niece and went to start dating one of them, I'd be all, fuck yes, they're dating them.
Yeah.
I know those are good guys. No ill intentions.
It's hard for me to make a true, like...
comparison to it?
Or comparison, or, like, have a full opinion on it because I don't know the full extent of it.
Yeah.
And I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I also get where they're coming from, but I don't know, like, the fine details.
I can tell you the fine details of it. Was high school, I never paid attention to this girl because she was way younger than me. Never even crossed my mind. And then one day she added me on Facebook. I didn't know who the fuck it was, honestly, because she goes by a whole different last name. It wasn't Pondo.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know who this is. Pretty good looking girl. 18.
Yeah.
No thought in my mind.
Yeah.
Then I realized who it was. Hesitation started.
Yeah.
And then she kept messaging me, and I was like, well, you know, she's 18, and I kind of know her. So I started talking to her. More out of friendship because she was going through some hard shit.
Yeah.
And I seen that with my cousins, and I was like...
If I know who her dad is, I understand where it started from, but I'm not 100% sure about that whole situation.
Her dad was Blaine.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, man, you know, she's going through some hard shit. Maybe I can help her out. Mm-hmm. And it started me just trying to be nice to help her out because I knew her.
Yeah.
I care about people I know.
Yeah.
And it evolved from that. And I just don't see how I can be faulted from that. Because it wasn't intentional. It just happened.
Yeah.
And there was no ill will. Mm-hmm. There was no ill intentions. Because I don't want to get too personal into it, so we're not going to. I'm not going to speak on anybody else's viewpoint.
Sure.
Things happened, and there were tensions between everybody in that aspect.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about mine and her aspect. There was tension between
the outside
world, and then me throwing my hat into the fold caused more tensions in another area, which blew back on me,
which was already a high tension area, and it had to leak out somewhere.
Exactly,
it had to bust,
and it leaked out towards me. And honestly, in all formats, it crossed my mind that this may happen, and I still took the chance.
But I mean, also you're like looking for love a little bit. Like I'm not like I can't fault you.
There was that. I was
like, for lack of better terms, you're looking for love a little bit.
I wasn't looking to get laid. I wasn't looking for a one night stand. I was looking like, man, maybe this is why I've been single this long, to help this person out of their rut.
Yeah.
And then a relationship evolved, and that's why I've been single this long.
Yeah.
You know, looking at the bigger term picture.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I believe there's something out there, but I I don't know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like it leaked out towards me, and I see where the tension comes from. But at the same time, like, fucking 15 years of camaraderie, brothership, friendship, and then you won't even have a conversation with me about it. That pisses me off.
And I'll tell you this straight up, Jeremy. I don't have a dog in the fight.
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from. I also get where they're coming from.
I get where they're coming from too, but like, talk to me about it, and I can explain the situation. Like, like I said, there was no ill will. It wasn't just to get laid.
Yeah.
It wasn't just for this. I was looking, like you said, looking for love.
There was not malintention at all.
There was no malintention, and if the roles were reversed, I would be happy.
Yeah.
And I get if they're not, just tell me like, hey, I don't agree with this.
Yeah.
And it's not even a thing anymore. It was a thing for like a month.
And maybe it's not as easy for them to be like as straight up. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. Like, when they do me like that, it turns to the point like, do you have that low of a view on myself that you think it's a horrible thing for them?
Yeah.
Especially when the point where I don't know if they have or not, but from what they've shown that they don't even care about them, you think it's that low of a view on myself? Like,
it hurts. I get that.
It hurts. It really does. Because I love Robert to death, and I will always love Robert to death. He could show up to fucking right now.
I wish.
And
I wish he would.
And things would be squashed immediately. He would have a conversation, and be like, "It's not a thing anymore. This was my intentions." He would understand. Things would go on with life. You know.
Yeah.
Because he's one I want to get on this. I fucking love him. That the stories me and him both have,
Jeremy,
of the shit we've done.
I think he kind of did a bash video of said woman.
Of her?
I don't think it was like a quote unquote bash video, but I don't think he has.
I know exactly. You're talking about the video where I started giving up on relationship.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Yeah, that is a bad video to her because that's a shit situation. It really is. That was my whole thing. Because I can tell you right now, and I don't give a fuck about telling this. If it makes you uncomfortable, I won't say it.
No. I don't have a dog in the fight. Okay. So it's
my situation was she was here. She acted like she was going to be here. I was putting all my eggs into again, I'm bad at putting all my eggs into a basket.
I get it. It's easy to do.
I was trying to do everything I can to help her to give her a good life, and then she up and disappeared.
Yeah.
And it made me feel like shit. It made me feel used. It made me feel abused. It made me feel worthless.
That's not fair to you. That's not fair to you.
It's not fair to either one of us.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Because I know she was going through some shit, and I understand that. She came back.
Yeah.
Messaged me about this shit. And I'm done with it. I don't want to.
You're not going to play into that.
It's like you said. You don't have a dog in the fight. I don't want a dog in the fight anymore. I don't care. I don't have enough trust in you to put the same effort I did the first time and do it again.
Why are you going to invest your emotions in something that you know that's probably going to fail?
And it may not. It may not.
Yeah.
But at the same time, and I don't feel like it would, but I'm not willing.
It's not worth it.
Exactly. I don't. Because that relationship was one of the last points where I'm like, if this doesn't work, I'm single for life.
I get that. I got to piss.
Oh, you're perfect.
That's a good spot. Because
would you like a whiskey sour?
Absolutely.
Okay, I can make some good whiskey sours. Oh shit! Dropping shit. All right. Battery still going good. Recording mic still going good. Do-do-do. Also, viewers, if you don't know how to make a whiskey sour, this is how you make it. A little bit of cracked ice, which if you watch this channel, you know how to make whiskey sours because I make them a lot. Cracked ice into there. We are going to go with the Lincoln Straight. Normally we would do a shot and a half, but we're going to go a little bit heavier because we're making 2. Maybe we're going to go heavier. It's going to be close. Shot and a half for 1. It's going to be a weird whiskey sour.
I'm ready for it.
Well, I was doing the Lincoln Straight.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever seen that video. That was an older video.
I probably did see it, but I don't remember the Lincoln Straight.
We were like an ounce and a half short on the Lincoln Straight, so we're doing not an ounce and a half. We're like half an ounce short.
Yeah.
So we're doing mostly Lincoln Straight. This is the bottle. It's actually a very cool bottle. We're doing that. Oh wait, I got
straight bourbon whiskey.
Can you grab me out of that fridge? There's a sweet and sour in there. Can you grab that
Absolutely.
out for me? It's up there on the Yinglings.
Yep.
Oh man. And can you put that back up too?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Are you a whiskey sour fan?
I love whiskey sours, bro. I order them at bars, and that's what I judge bars off of. And most bars cannot make a good whiskey sour. Sports 10, I'm talking to you.
Really? Sports 10? I love Sports 10.
I love Sports 10, but their whiskey sour, last time, I was there 2 weeks ago, and their whiskey sours fucking suck.
Who was the bartender? Not name, look. I can tell you off look. I can't tell you off name.
Fuck if I know, Jeremy Glass.
Asian girl?
What?
Asian girl?
I think it was a dude.
Okay, no. Asian girl, I've never had an issue with her.
Make a decent whiskey sour.
Oh, any drink decent. Oh, her Bloody Marys?
Yeah.
Her Bloody Marys.
Oh, I love a good Bloody Mary too, Jeremy.
See, I've been practicing with Bloody Marys so much.
Oh,
I think I finally mastered it.
Yeah. So, Jeremy, with the whiskey sour, have you ever done it with the egg white?
I have not. I've wanted to try it, but
Oh.
my thing is with the whiskey sours and the way my videos work. Have you ever seen a YouTube channel called How to Drink?
Yep.
I love his videos.
He's got the
He
mounts
does
on the
everything. My thing with him is his is so overcomplicated.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. I love his videos. I watch his videos. I don't want to make the drink.
He's very judgmental too.
Not just judgmental. I like judgmental. I'm very judgmental on my shit. My thing is with him is he's making whiskey sours for the people who can actually put time, money, and investment into all their drinks. Not just whiskey, cocktails in general.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make the simplest drink, but the best it can be without overcomplicating it. Because separating an egg white and an egg,
it's a pain.
It's a lot of work. Whether I can just use a normal old sweet and sour mix, you know.
No, I'm with you. I've got sweet and sour mix at my house. I love whiskey sours. Have you ever tried Buffalo Trace?
It's on my list for a review because I've had nothing but good things about it.
I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna buy some whiskey today. I was gonna buy some Buffalo Trace, and I was like, I don't want to overstep my boundaries. I don't want to like step into.
Never overstepping your boundaries here, Isaac. Trust me.
I didn't want to like buy some Buffalo Trace and be like, oh well, it's a podcast / whiskey review. You know what I mean? I want you to have.
I would do a whole separate whiskey review, and I would tell you straight. I'm an honest guy when it comes to everything. I would tell you, I don't. Like
I respect that, bro. I respect that.
What I used here was Lincoln Straight. It's a heavier whiskey. It's like 120 something proof.
Okay.
And then there's a little bit of Four Roses in there because I ran out of whiskey straight. It says on there. I can't remember the percentage.
You want to know something? So, Four Roses. My grandfather says he drinks Four Roses and he's in a fighting mood. Like he takes
the single barrel.
Don't get me lying.
Is he a whiskey fight mood guy?
No, not whiskey, because he's a Crown guy. He loves Crown. That man loves Crown. But he says he drinks Four Roses and he's in a fighting mood.
Have you ever heard that whole thing? It's all a mindset.
No, I believe it.
Have you ever heard that? Whether it's dark liquor, whiskey.
I've heard
rum,
it.
all that, it's a mindset.
I've never heard it, sorry. But I know it's a mentality.
If you get in your mind you're going to be a certain way, that's how you're going to be. Let me know how this is.
That's a good whiskey sour.
See, my favorite things I've talked about in whiskey sours before. I hate whiskey snobs.
Yeah.
You got to drink whiskey straight. No ice, straight in the glass. I hate that.
You can't drink it on ice. You can't drink it cut at all. You can't drink it dirty.
I hate that. I'm not a straight drinker. Like that shot we took earlier, I hated it, but I liked it at the same time. But my thing is, with whiskey sours, they cut the flavor back to where everything's smooth and you can drink it. You can sip on it.
Yeah.
For me, anyway.
Yeah.
But you don't lose the flavor of the whiskey.
Yeah.
It actually enhances it with the sour.
Yeah.
I was talking to Dom about this. The same thing. Cola. Yes, if I take a shot of whiskey and pour a whole red Solo cup of cola, there's no flavor of the whiskey left.
Absolutely.
If I take a glass like this, put a shot and a half of whiskey, and then a little bit of cola, yes, it cuts the flavor, but also it creates a whole new flavor
dynamic.
profile. Exactly.
You get a whole
And I
profile.
love
Your palate hits it differently. Yeah, absolutely. I love your reviews, but it's so hard to take like a Lincoln or a Jack and be like, hey, I'm gonna take a shot of it, and it's like, oh, the shot sucks, but like the whiskey sour is good. You know what I mean? Because
that's where, if you notice in the last Crown video, I didn't just do a shot. I poured it in a glass and I sipped it.
Yeah.
That's where I'm coming to more terms where like this is what I like. And I'm not going to try to cater to other people.
I'm with you.
Because shots are a whole different than sips, too. That whiskey in a glass by itself, I take a sip, is completely different whether I take a shot. Mm-hmm. I will tell you this. There's probably one you watched. And this is hilarious.
I've watched almost everyone.
This is going to come out as a story you never heard before.
Okay.
The Willet bourbon.
Yep.
That's... Wow, man. That's this one here.
Oh, okay. That's a pretty bottle.
One of the prettiest bottles. I remember mentioning Brandon Pruitt bought that for me.
Yeah.
It was the first video I ever did. I took those, stacked them up on those fucking nightstands, and did the video standing back. That was the first one I did like that. Do you remember that one?
I vaguely, yes.
And I said in the video, I was like, oh, I already did this straight, but the camera recording, something happened.
Yeah, I do.
You know what happened there? I was nursing a terrible hangover.
Oh, yeah.
And I was feeling shit that day. I took a shot of that, and I threw up all over this floor.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And it was recording, and then I cut the recording, and that's where I came back and said, like, oh, this was I already took a shot of this, I know how it is, I didn't really like it, so we're just going to jump in straight to the cold and sour. There was a video technicality.
I remember.
There was not a video technicality.
You threw it.
It was literally... and that was the video technicality. Yeah. That's what happened in that video. Knowing that, like I said, at the time I wasn't going to put that out, but knowing, like now, it makes a great story.
Yeah.
Embarrassments make great stories.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of Dom and embarrassments, so there was one time, Jeremy Glass, Dominique Williams, and I'll say his name because fuck that dude.
Well, he's going to be on the show, too. Yeah, and I'll fuck that dude.
Well, I say
love
fuck
that guy.
I fuck that dude. Say fuck that dude.
You fuck that dude, okay.
Yeah, maybe. But because of this story, I love that dude. That's one of my best friends. I love
he's
Dominique
one of the best
Williams.
people I know. Honestly, genuinely good person, too.
Yeah, and he really is, too. Genuine.
He will go out of his way to make somebody happy, which is crazy.
Absolutely. So one day we were in high school at this point, and he was like, "Hey, one of my friends, I think kind of girlfriend, not girlfriend, in San Angelo was like, hey, you want to go to prom with me?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'll go to prom with you." And she was like, "Hey, I got a friend that needs a date. You got any friends that are willing to go?" And he talked to me. He was like, "Hey, she's got a friend, whatever, like, you willing to go to prom with her?" And I was like, "Yeah, let me see some pictures, let me, kind of being shallow about it, but like,
A little bit. Oh, fuck it.
Yeah.
No, there ain't no being shallow, man. You have standards. Everybody has standards.
Yeah, and so I was like, you got any pictures or whatever? And he was like, "Yeah, I'll send you some." So days went by, and he was like, "Oh, she said she'll send some." Weeks went by. She said she'll send some.
Never.
Yeah. And he was like, "Well, are you going to go to San Angelo with me or not?" And I was like, "Well, I guess, like, have you seen what this girl looks like?" Yeah. And he was like, "Yeah, she's good looking, like, she's a good looking girl, I promise, blah, 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 blah." So we go to San Angelo, me and him are driving in his aunt's car. We drive, we're going or whatever, get to San Angelo, and we get to this girl's house, like his date's house. Yeah. And she's like, "Yeah, you can go to our bathroom, my bedroom, there's a bathroom in there, y'all get dressed or whatever. And y'all come out, and we'll all be out here." And we were like, "Okay, cool." So me and Dom get dressed. We're looking fine or whatever. And walk out, and there's a whole big group of girls. And I was like, "Okay, which one's my date?" Like, I'm
you're like, "Oh, yeah."
And I was like, "Dom, which one's mine?" And he was like looking around. And he was like, "That one." And I was like, "That one?" That bitch was fucking pregnant, Jeremy Glass.
Pregnant?
She was like at least 6 months pregnant. Like 6 months pregnant. And I was like, I looked at him, I was like, "Dom,
are you serious, man?
Are you serious?" He was like, I didn't send you pictures, I didn't tell you anything because I knew you would say no. I was like, "You cocksucker."
Here's the thing, like if my thing with that had been like, "Hey man, I got this really hot girl I'm trying to get with. Can you bite the bullet for me on this one?"
He didn't. Didn't.
But if he would have been like that, if he would have been like, "Can you bite the bullet on it?" Would you have done it?
I probably would have.
Was her personality good at least?
She was cool. Like,
well, a prom date, that's all that matters. A good personality on prom date.
She wasn't a bad person.
You know, but God, dude, like, just
Jeremy Glasshole.
that motherfucker, dude. I can
worse.
see where Dominic did that. Oh, it gets worse?
It gets worse. So, they had a limo pull up to the house. We all load up in the limo. I'm sitting next to her. We're all talking BS and having a good time or whatever. We get to the venue, and we walk in there, and they're like, oh, prom pictures. Let's all get together and take prom pictures. And she was like, I want pictures. Like, you mind taking pictures with me? I was like, what can I do at this point? Yeah.
You're already there, yeah. And oh my God, I can already picture it. You're looking like the dad of this child already.
That's exactly what the photographer thought I was the dad. He was like,
put your hand on the
yeah.
Oh my
so
God.
There I am, because I'm dumb as fuck. I couldn't say no.
Yeah,
so there I am holding her stomach, taking pictures like, oh, like here I am, the dad, or like, you know, whatever. And this bitch was sweaty. This bitch had a little bit of BO. She's a nice girl. Like I feel bad for saying it, but yeah.
If she wasn't pregnant, y'all probably would have had a good connection.
Yeah, probably, maybe. Yeah, maybe we would have.
Yeah.
But like, and after that, after we took pictures, I just bounced out. I was like,
oh my God.
I'm not for.
When you get on that reminds. Oh my God, that reminds me of prom.
I was so mad.
Do you remember our senior prom? I had 2 dates.
I didn't go to senior prom.
You didn't go to our senior prom? Oh man, I had 2 dates.
Did you?
I had 2 dates. Early in the year, remember Brady Haygood?
Yeah.
A class below us?
Yeah.
Blonde hair, real scene chick?
Yeah.
Biggest crush on her in high school.
Yeah.
I love scene chicks.
Yeah.
That's my whole thing.
I ain't got a problem with scene chicks.
I agreed to go to prom with her. Later in the year, I started dating Tara and Claiborne.
Yeah.
And so, like, I got to go to prom. I'm dating her, you know, I have to go to prom with her. But I already agreed to go with him.
Yeah.
They allowed me to go with both. So I walk Claiborne, yeah. Hey, good, yeah. So I walk Claiborne out.
Yeah.
First. We walk through the whole thing, take our picture. I have to go back through the cafeteria, run around the back, then walk Haygood out. And then it was a great prom. I enjoyed the whole thing. It was great. They both they were best friends.
They're cool about
They didn't care.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool as fuck.
Yeah.
We took pictures together and everything.
That's some wild.
We paid for the pictures and everything. My aunt did.
Yeah.
Because I was living with her at the time. My aunt did. I call her my aunt. She's more of a mother to me than my mom ever been. I love her to death. She paid for the pictures and everything. They never sent us. It was whenever.
Shit.
I'm not gonna say her name. It was when the photographer, everything kind of started.
Yeah.
She lost track of a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Remember, and things she had to close down and all that. It was when she lost all those pictures. She lost everything. So I never got them, even though we paid for them. I would have loved those senior pictures because they had them like we're taking senior pictures. One on one shoulder leaning like this, one on the other shoulder leaning like that, legs up.
Having a great
I'm sitting there
time,
looking like a pimp, you know? It was a great fucking time.
That's cool as fuck.
But then you talk about belling out. This is what reminded me of it. The year after I graduated, I went with, what's her name? Sherry Daniels.
Oh, man.
Here's the thing, though. I look back on this.
I'm not judging you.
No. Here's the thing. I look back and I'm like dumb because she had a body on her. She had a body on her. She was a butterface.
And
she was
butter smell.
She was a butterface.
Hey, I guess.
Like I said, she had a body on her. And the entire time I was like, well, I'm just going to go fucking eat. It was Coach Shaq's last year cooking the meal.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to go fucking eat steak and shrimp. Fuck everything else. We're dancing, you know, the first dance required after everybody walks out, everybody's dancing.
Yeah.
I'm talking, we get near the food table, boom, straight to the food.
Yeah.
And this was right after me and Hartley had broken up.
Yeah.
The entire night after I got the wrestling ring too. I had the wrestling ring at this point, and I'm like, man, you know, I kept telling Sherry, it's like, I can't dance. I hurt my ribs wrestling. You know, it hurts to lift my arm and everything. She was cool with it. She walks out. Oh, hey Hartley, you want to dance? Me and Hartley are out there. I felt like such a fucking douchebag. I
remember all the stories with you and Hartley too.
Oh man, fuck that.
I could say some stuff.
Fuck that. I won't. No, you could say what. Fuck that bitch.
Yeah.
Zero fucking tolerance. Like, I've tried to make it up with her. We tried to get on a civil point. She asked me for money a couple years back.
Wow.
Like a year back.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is like 2 kids in. She asked me for, she's like, hey, I can't make my rent. Can you lend me $150? I can pay you back payday. Like, yeah, no problem, you know.
Yeah.
Do you want to meet in Pyote? And I'll give you the $150. She's like, oh no, I live in El Paso now. Can you just Venmo me the money and I can Venmo it? Fuck no, I ain't Venmo it.
Eat my ass. Yeah.
I was looking at it like, fuck, I'll give her $150 to Pyote. Maybe get me some too. Get a date and get me some out of it. Fuck no.
Yeah.
But Pyote and or El Paso venue. Fuck no. I blocked her immediately.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Don't blame you.
Yeah, no. That shit was ridiculous. Oh, fuck that bitch.
Who was that bitch in Monahan's? Jeremy.
Brooke. Oh man, and she's not a bitch.
Yeah.
We were just young and dumb.
Sorry,
No. You're fine. I get where you're coming from because at the time I would have said she was a bitch. Not talking to her now. I've met her a couple of times afterward, like grown up days.
Yeah.
One of the nicest person ever. It was just a bad situation for both of us.
Yeah.
We were both dumb. We were both young, living in a bad situation.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
She pulled some bitch moves. I pulled some bitch moves.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. After we broke up, I pulled some bitch moves, like dating her.
You're young as fuck, though.
Well, it was a mutual thing. During dating, she pulled some bitch moves, cheating and shit. Like I said, once that's done, that's it.
Yeah.
I pulled some bitch moves after we broke up, dating her best friends, and that's the end of it.
I
right
remember
there.
that too. Yeah.
That was it, dude. That white. Oh, let me piss, and then we gotta talk about that, man. I fucking still remember the night you stayed over there. Like, some of the shit we did as kids, bro, like, would get us arrested nowadays.
Oh, unbelievable.
Yeah, no, I fucking remember you came over and hung out with me that night. And the next morning, was it the next morning or that day? We stalked that dude around Monahan's?
Yes, it was. Was it the next morning? I don't remember.
I think it was the same day. I think it was the same day, and then you stayed the night that night. That's what I think it was.
Yeah.
And because it was like right after school.
Because you were in that pickup, and
yeah, the white F250, like 2006 model or something like that, diesel.
Yep.
And dude, it was just the most random thing. Like, hey, look, that's a pretty young cat. Let's follow him around, see what he does.
Yeah.
And then this motherfucker saw us following him. He was going through like alleyways, behind the Alco, through like mud dips. And we lost him, and then we found him again. Oh, dude, it was fucking hilarious.
I remember that vividly.
I still have no clue who that is. I would love to meet that motherfucker today and just have a conversation with him, because he had to have been cool as fuck, because he was trying to lose us.
Yeah.
And you could tell he was like our age, maybe younger, maybe a year older. You could tell he was around our age, though. And he was trying to lose us. Then he lost us. Probably felt like, I lost us. And then we found him again. Stalked him again.
Just by luck, too.
Just by luck, bro. It was fucking hilarious. The shit we did was so dumb.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you remember when me, Pondo, and Gabriel got banned from All Subs and Wink?
No, I don't.
Okay, so, and full statute of limitations here.
Yeah. Hopefully.
I'm gonna say I just to cover my ass and everybody else. I used to steal from Allsup's all the fucking time during lunch.
Yeah.
During high school.
It was
my junior
year. A normal thing. I didn't do it for statutes of limitations. I didn't do it.
Yeah, but do you remember I would come back to school with like the whole pack of lemon lime salt in my pocket, unwrapped, still in the plastic?
Yep.
We would do that shit so fucking much, dude. It was ridiculous. I'm talking Red Bulls, whole packs of lemon lime salt, whole packs of beef jerky just stuffed in our pants. I'm not going to say the amount because it could probably get us in trouble. But I remember one day we had school and the Kermit kids didn't. One of them had the exact same jacket as my cousin.
Yeah.
And they came over and did a beer run in Wink during lunchtime. And they blamed us for it because he had the exact same jacket, and that's how they knew. And we got banned from Allsup's for like a year and a half.
God.
And you know, at my point, because it was the one time we didn't steal that we got in trouble for. And I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Taking these beers and hiding them in Coach Summers' class?
Yeah.
and I said this to this day still. Coach Summers' class, because he was a fucking alcoholic.
100%.
Ass, bro. 100%. And I don't even blame him. If I was a fucking teacher having to deal with the students we were, I would have been an alcoholic.
At that point in my life, I was like, What's wrong with the dude? What's wrong? Now I get it. Like,
100%. I still remember one time I walked up there. Hey, can I get some help on this problem?
Yeah.
Yeah, what you got to boom, big old drool all over my paper, and I just took it back to my desk. Fuck it, whatever. I loved his class. I like it too. To this day, I would love to drink with that motherfucker.
Yeah. His name's Craig Summers.
Craig Summers.
Yeah.
If somehow you see this, Craig, hit me up. We will get you on here. We will talk about fucking everything. I want to get to know your story.
I like Craig Summers.
Honestly, a lot of those coaches I would love to drink with. Craig, I'd love to drink with. Coach Lee, I would love to drink with.
Yeah.
Coach Lohr, I would like to sit down and talk with. I don't think he would drink with me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's not that kind of guy. I don't think he's that kind of guy.
I don't think he is. Maybe he is. Maybe he would love to sit down and have a bunch of drinks. I don't know. I don't think so. He is one of the best stand-up people I knew.
He is. And I saw him today at
like you said, you said you saw him today.
Man. I love Coach Lara. He might have his things, like, you know.
Oh, everybody has their things, but I would love to sit down and have a conversation with him.
Absolutely.
Like I said, the whole point of this podcast, I want to learn other people's lives. I want to know their looks, their outviews, the things they've experienced to help try to better myself.
Yeah.
My all-time dream guest, and this ain't even obviously my all-time dream guest.
It ain't me.
Unfortunately, it's not. My all-time dream guest would be Bert Kreischer.
Oh, Bert.
Obviously.
Yeah.
My all-time dream guest out of somebody I've already met, Coach Herntzer. I would love to sit down. Oh, that man right there.
Yeah.
All-time favorite coach.
Yeah.
The things he did for me. As much of a shit as I was quitting the football team, him talking me out of quitting the football team, him pushing me to do this, Coach Herntzer was my all-time favorite coach, and I would not be the person I am today without him.
Really?
Exactly. Like I said, I didn't like Jesse Jones.
Yeah.
During that year, I like him now. I'd love to have him on here.
Yeah.
Sanchez, I love Sanchez. Sanchez was fucking hilarious. Sanchez was a fucking meme. That man is a living, breathing, walking meme. Herntzer. The first day he was there, he was a fucking Nazi when it came to working out. He changed our entire regiment, made us walk the weights out, put them back in the way he wanted without the mats. Love that dude.
After McGehee,
After that, I love that dude to death. He was all time one of my favorite people. Would love to just have a conversation like that with him. To get to know him. I want to know his thought process.
Yeah.
You know. And that's the whole goal of this. I want to bring everyday people onto the show and just learn their thought process.
Man, I'll tell you what, though, it's been a great time. I mean,
and
for what it's been like for the past couple hours, I don't even know. What time
we're already at like 2 hours, and that's why I'm bringing this up, because we're going to wrap this up here in a minute.
Yeah.
All-time people, like I said, I would love to bring Coach Herntzer on this, which I know will never fucking happen.
Yeah.
Unless I make it huge, maybe then he will.
Yeah.
Sanchez. I want to know his thought process. Were you there whenever he thought I did coke in his class?
No.
Waylon, I had a pixie stick, and Waylon was like, "You won't snort that," and it was a white pixie stick.
Ripped the line.
I put that shit on my desk. Coach Sanchez didn't see me pour it out of a pixie stick.
Yeah.
I'm taking my lunch card. I'm chopping this shit up, making a line. I get the line perfect. He looks at me like, you remember he had the dual screen set up.
Yeah.
He looks at me, and I look him dead in the eye, and
Rip a line.
after making this with my lunch card, I'm not dealing with this.
Yeah.
Like, straight up out loud, I'm not dealing with this. And he goes back to his other screen, never says a word.
Golly.
And then Coach Jones' class, did you know about me and Pondo with the briefcase? Remember I used to carry a briefcase to
Yeah,
school?
I do. I remember that.
Between his class, I'd come out of Coach Lohr's class, go to my locker. He would come out of whatever class he was going to his locker, and we'd cross in front of Coach Jones' class, and then we'd go into Coach Jones' class. We'd cross, I would set my briefcase down, Pondo would pick it up, go to his locker, do whatever he's got to do, and we'd go back into Coach Jones' class, he'd set the briefcase down next to my desk, walk off, I'd pick it up, like a drug deal.
Yeah.
And I remember Coach Jones, does nobody see this? Right in front of his class, dude. Oh, man, the shit we used to do.
Good times.
But yeah, like I said, the reason like I said, we're hitting our mark. I mean, you and me, honestly, from already talking, we could probably go on for like a 4-hour podcast.
Oh, we could, absolutely.
We've already hit like 2 hours.
And whenever you want to cut it.
Oh,
You're
man.
not going to hurt my feelings.
We will hit a point, and if I gotta get you on here as a guest at another time, we will. Because like I said, I've had a great time just sitting here talking about random shit. And I really fucking hope I didn't fuck up anywhere and all of us recorded, because I would be mad if it didn't.
Yeah. That'd be so funny.
It would be so bad. I can tell you right now, uploading this, I uploaded that video on the Crown. Yeah. It took 3 hours to upload that bitch.
Really?
Because I guess this camera shoots at such a high quality, and then transferring it from the camera
data
to the computer, and then to upload.
And then your bandwidth is fucking shitty.
It's shitty. It's fucking weak. I think this is probably going to take like a good 8 hours to upload, honestly.
Golly.
So it'll probably either be up tomorrow. What's today? Friday? Mm-hmm. It'll either be up tomorrow, Saturday, or Sunday. Monday at the latest. Because I will, if it's not up by Monday, I'm definitely going to put it on when I go to bed Sunday night.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it.
Oh, man. I'm
maybe a little nervous to watch it, but
I don't watch. I've never watched my videos.
Yeah.
I don't watch my videos.
Really?
Other people talk. I hate my voice.
yeah,
I hate.
I feel like you got to though. You got to watch your videos.
I feel like you got to, but I'm trying to trailblaze a way where I don't have to watch a single of my videos. I've heard them in the background when other people put them on, and then I tone myself out like I'm not listening to that. But I feel like you have to. But I'm trying to pave the way to the point where I don't have to, because at the end of the day, yes, this is my show. I want to get popular.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Everybody wants to.
I hope you do Jeremy Glass.
But at the end of the day, like I said, I want to learn about other people's lives. Everybody has a story to tell, and I want to learn those stories.
Yeah.
And I want to give a platform for the everyday person to tell them story.
Yeah.
I could care less if this hit.
Yeah.
And people I'm talking this hits like 300 views. And that's high for me.
Yeah.
Somebody in Odessa sees this and hits me up like, hey man, I got a story I want to tell. Can I come on the show?
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, if you're willing to come to Wink, spend a couple hours, get drunk. And they don't even have to drink. Drinking's not a requirement. I will allow some complete stranger to come on and tell me on the show. If I'm not feeling it, I'll cut them early and be like, yeah, that's the end of it, man. It ain't working.
Yeah.
But I believe everybody has a story, and I think everybody has the right to tell a story. That's the point of this podcast. This is the Everyday Man's Podcast.
Yeah.
Is my goal.
Yeah.
Now, I have another project coming up. Mm-hmm. Now I'm advertising. This is where the show's about to end. Now I'm advertising.
Plug your shit.
I have a thing called Shooters.
Okay.
That's coming up. It's in the format of Hot Ones. You've seen Hot Ones.
Yep.
My goal is 7 drinks.
Oh, that's cool.
Or 7 shots and 7 drinks.
You gotta trademark
together.
this. You gotta.
Oh, this is why I'm bringing it up now. This is my idea for it. My first guest, in my mind, he's already agreed to it. As a guy I work with, his name is Marcus Williams. He's part of the band in Kermit called Crafting the Conspiracy. They're a heavy metal band. You probably heard of them.
I think so.
I want to bring him on the show, and it's going to be in the format of Hot Ones. The first drink is going to be an Adios motherfucker. A lot of alcohol.
Starting off strong. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. You start off strong so it can hit you throughout the show.
Yeah.
That starts off because it's so easy to drink, too.
Yeah.
And then 2 shots of those twisted drinks you can get from the Jimmy's Liquors or whatever liquor store. And then third would be a Vegas bomb.
Yeah.
Fourth, that was
Vegas bomb.
Fourth would be a Vegas bomb.
A Vegas bomb.
Fifth would be an Irish car bomb. 6 would be a whiskey sour, one of these.
Yeah.
Sit down, sip on those.
Yeah.
I would ask
Yeah,
you
yeah.
2 or 3 questions.
I like this.
Because you know on Hot Ones they ask a question per wing. The whiskey sour, I'd ask 2 or 3 questions, let everything start to hit. And then the last one, a straight shot of Devil's Cut.
Yeah.
As the 7th one. Instead of 10, it'd be 7.
Yeah.
And then just because I love Hot Ones in the aspects, the heat brings out the real person.
Yeah,
and you've seen that plenty of times in the show. Alcohol brings out the real person, especially for people that don't drink. Marcus, I can tell you right now, is not a drinker.
Yeah.
His ass would, I'm talking he's either going to have to stay here or he's going to have to ride home.
Yeah.
Because that motherfucker does not drink. And I feel like I would drink him even with those. I feel like I would be drunk, but he would be gone.
Where are you at right now? How do you feel?
I feel great.
Do you?
I honestly feel like you and me could go for another couple hours just talking.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
And honestly, we're probably gonna talk after this ends.
Yeah.
And if that was a whole other conversation. But
you tell me when you're ready to cut it, and I'm there. But
man, we're already
a great time.
We're already at 2+ hours.
It's on you, bro.
Anything you want to say to the camera, go ahead and say it. Whether it's do you have another story you want to tell? Is there something you want to get off your chest that you want to talk about?
Man, no. Honestly, I've had a great time. I'm nervous about it, but I mean,
I think this ended up, in my opinion, way better than I ever expected.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
At some point, I was worried there was going to be a lull in the conversations.
Never.
The only lulls was when we went to piss. That was the only fucking lull, and the mics were still going, so I probably picked up us pissing. So fuck all that. So I'm not an editor. I don't edit.
Yeah.
I love unreal, uncut, unsanctioned, uncensored.
I'm there.
I love that shit.
Yeah, I'm there.
And like I said, fucking, you've seen the shit shit. I had the paperwork.
Yeah.
If there's anything you feel like, I will cut it out. If
Yep.
you feel like there's anything.
No, honestly, I don't think I said anything that was compromising to myself. So
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Like I said, I mentioned a few times I said I work for the state, but
Yeah.
I never mentioned the department, so I don't think anybody's going to give a fuck. As long as I don't say the department, I think I'm good.
Man, this is great.
I've just loved having you on the show, man. I love these conversations, man. That's what I do with so many more people, especially people I don't know. You and me know each other pretty well,
but it's not like it's not deep.
It's not deep. This was deep.
Yeah, I love it.
And we've had these kind of conversations, but never on this level, never this amount of time.
Yeah. Never one-on-one like this.
Exactly. There was somebody always able to put in a story and stuff, which I love that still.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, these mics only hold up to 2 people from what I understand.
Yeah.
I don't know. I may be able to do more. And I would love to get more than one person on here. But from what I know, these hold up 2 people. And I love these conversations. I feel like these when you get the most emotional shit out of people.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I've told you shit tonight that I would have never told anybody else in a group.
Yeah.
One-on-one, I've told you shit, and I feel like it's probably been the same way back.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It probably started off weird. Like, we're going to watch the beginning of this and be like, oh, we're fucking awkward as fuck.
The beginning, I started off so heavy, honestly. Like, I can't remember what I started off with.
I mean,
I can't even remember what, growing up. I think that's when I started growing up, man. And that's the thing. Like, growing up, child life is so important to people's lives. And so many people will look past that and like, no, you have to make that. Because when you hit, in my mind, when you hit age 16, in my mind, that's your personality for life.
yeah.
Whether you learn shit when to shut your mouth or to open up your mouth, that's still your personality for life.
See, I would disagree with that, man.
Really?
I learned a lot more after 19.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. You learn more. But I feel like at 16, your personality is developed. Like, I was a gamer nerd set on wrestling.
Yeah.
I still watch wrestling, and I game a shit ton. And I'm not very good at social drinking with a group, but I'm good at social drinking with one-on-one.
Yeah.
Like I have with the mic. When I game, I talk to somebody one-on-one or two-on-two.
See, and I prefer this every day of the week.
Oh, I love this. And that's why I wanted to get this. Like, I was honestly scared when you first came on that you were going to bring Corey, Hollis, Dominique, all of them over, and they were...
I love that dude. Nothing against them. I love
them guys, too. Yeah. Nothing against them. But I was afraid you were going to bring them. They were going to sit off in the corner, and you and me were going to have the conversation with them putting in input shit. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
That's why I love this.
No, I've been ready for it by myself all week, man. I've been a little nervous about it, too.
I've been nervous. I've loved it. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I want to have Corey on the show. Yeah. I want to have Hollis. Hollis is one of them motherfuckers that I want to have on the show more than any other. Yeah. Because I feel like he has some stories.
No, he's got a great... he's a good storyteller, too.
Well, not just on top of him being a good storyteller. Like, I don't know him.
Yeah.
I never hung out with him in high school. I've drank at his house. I've watched fights at his house.
Yeah.
But I've never had an actual sit-down conversation like this one-on-one with him.
If he's ever willing, he's a busy dude. If he's ever willing to do it, man, that dude.
Dude, I want to get him on
Corey too.
So bad. Corey is one of them motherfuckers I will always not under respect. I will over respect. I don't care what anybody says about him. I've always defended him, even against Robert and them. And like I said, I have utmost respect for Robert. I've told Robert to shut the fuck up when it comes to Corey. Just due to the fact, 4 months after my dad passed, I was sitting in the bathroom crying at high school because it was the 4-month anniversary. Yeah. Corey came in there, picked me up, and said, hey, man, don't worry about it, and gave me a hug.
Yeah.
That moment changed my entire opinion on Corey as a person.
Corey's a great dude. Corey is a great dude. I have nothing bad to say about that man. He's one of my tightest homies.
A bad thing to say about that guy, but at the same time, I love that motherfucker more than else. I feel like public opinion sways his personality more than most people I know.
I think you'd
as far as I knew him in high school.
I think you'd be surprised now.
Or graduate. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Graduated, I've known him a lot less, and he's told me, he's like, man, he's told me straight before, he's like, I've earned more respect for you out of high school than I've ever known you in high school.
Corey's a great dude.
And see, my thing was, I earned more respect for him in high school than I did outside of high school. Because of that one moment. He picked me up off of the ground. I'm talking like I didn't want to get up. Yeah. He pulled me off of the ground and gave me a hug and said, hey, man, I'm sorry you're feeling this way. Yeah. That's how it is. I'm sorry, and I hope you do better.
I think genuinely, Corey. Bless
you.
Thank you. I think Corey's a great dude. I think he's grown and matured a lot. I think when you're in high school, it's hard.
Oh,
it's hard to judge people
everybody
just
in
based
high
on
school is so dumb when they're in high school. Like I said, I would love, honestly, being this, my goal with this project, besides just learning people, is to become a local celeb first and then branch out.
Yeah. You are a local celeb, though. Like
You say that.
You got low key.
Well, you say that. Here's the thing. This is taking a lot right here from me.
Yeah.
What I'm about to say.
Okay.
Dustin Williams' son, from Kermit, Texas, used to bully the fuck out of me in middle school. I want to know your story. Hit me up if you watch these. If you somehow see these, somebody mention these, hit me up. I want to have you on here and have a real conversation.
Yeah.
Whether it's an apology, whether it's why you did the thing you did, whatever it is, I want to have a real conversation with you.
Yeah.
So hit me up. That right there took a lot from me.
Yeah. That's fairly emotional. Is that a good place to cut it?
That's where I think we're going to end this whole thing, is on an emotional note. We're going to end this on a shot.
Okay, let's do it.
I appreciate you coming, Isaac.
Absolutely, man.
And this whole experience. This is new to me. This is new to you. I've never done a podcast. You've never done a podcast, I don't think.
No, I've never.
This is a whole new thing to me. And I hope this goes well beyond just Winkler County. I hope this goes well beyond Permian Basin.
Absolutely.
I want to learn people from all walks of life. If you're in this area and you just want to stop by, my Instagrams will be linked down below. My Discord will be linked down below. My Facebook, I'll try to link it down below if I remember to. I usually don't link that. But if you just want to come on here and talk about something, if you have something, a story you feel like you need to talk about, just message me. Everybody has a story, and I believe everybody deserves a platform to tell it on. I'm not the biggest. I'm not the baddest. I don't have the hugest following. But if 1,000 people see this, that's more than I expected.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Love you, Isaac. Appreciate you being on here, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Awkwardly walk over to the camera and